and he would be arrested.
Did you hear the police say that to him?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michael Huckabee is suing Shantika Lynch and her ex-husband, Melvin Wilson, for the value of an iPhone that was broken by their son.
Order. All rise. This is case number 224 on the calendar in the matter of Huckabee versus Lynch Wilson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Mr. Huckabee, it is your claim that the defendant's son is responsible for the destruction of your daughter's iPhone in school.
Yes.
And his parents seem to have one of two alternate defenses. The first defense is that he was only one of two boys who was responsible for the phone, and you're picking on him because you couldn't get the other boy too. And the second defense is that she shouldn't have had a phone in school anyway. That's your second defense.
Yes.
Now, is your last name Wilson?
It is.
And Mr. Wilson, since you volunteered that you think is appropriate or that your wife thinks is appropriate?
It's a situation of what they're saying didn't happen the way they said it happened.
I just want to know who came up with that defense. She wasn't supposed to have a phone in school anyway.
That was just a school policy.
Not as a defense, Your Honor.
Okay, so I can eliminate that.
Yeah, just, yes.
So I can eliminate that defense. She wasn't supposed to have a phone in school anyway.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Tell me your name.
Stockton Wilson.
First name?
Stockton.
Do you know this young lady?
Yes.
How many years have you gone to school with her?
Maybe 2.
Do you like her?
I like her, I guess.
Good. Do you take a phone to school?
No.
Because it's against the rules.
Yeah, or it's not against the rules to take a phone to school, but to have it out during school hours is against the rules.
Yeah. Do you remember the day that her phone got misplaced?
No.
Do you remember the incident?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me your version of the incident?
So,
right here. Not there, right here.
So after 6th period in my Spanish class, I saw a phone on the floor, and everyone had left, and the period was over.
So you saw a phone on the floor?
I picked it up.
And picked it up?
Yes, and I was asking...
And where did you put it?
I had it in my, the owner or anything like that, and everybody was telling me no, 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 no. So Isaiah comes in and says, oh, that's my phone, and...
Isaiah?
Yes.
Do you know him?
Yes.
Is he a friend of yours?
No.
Do you like him?
No.
So Isaiah came in to where? Into what room?
No, I was outside during the quad asking people as they were going to their class during 7th period. He came up to me and said, hey, that's my phone, and he tried to grab it out of my hand, and it dropped on the floor. And then he picked the phone up and smashed it and threw it in the trash. Now,
there came a time when somebody from the principal's office discussed this phone with you.
Yes.
And did you tell the principal the same story?
Yes. Or no, because they interviewed me with police.
They interviewed you with police. And when they interviewed you with the police, what did you tell the police happened?
They told me that if I didn't...
No, don't tell me what they told you. You tell me what you told the police.
I said that I broke the phone.
And did you tell them how you broke the phone?
I said I just threw it on the floor.
Inside or outside?
Outside.
Did you tell them why you threw it on the floor?
No.
Did you mention Isaiah's name?
Yes.
To the police?
Yes.
What did you tell them Isaiah did?
I said Isaiah tried to grab the phone out of my hand, and that's when it broke or cracked the first time.
Second time?
Yes.
Is Isaiah still in school?
Yes.
Are you still in school?
Yes.
Did either of you get suspended from school?
No.
Did the police speak to you before or after you spoke to your parents?
Before.
After the police spoke to you, went home?
Yeah.
Who was the first person you spoke to, your mother or your father?
I think I spoke to my mother the day after because my mom comes home late and I didn't get the chance to talk to her.
Who do you live with?
My mom.
So who watches you after school?
My grandma's there too.
And when you went home from school that day, did you tell your grandmother what had happened?
No.
So you waited until the next day to speak to your mother?
Yes.
Did you tell your mother what happened?
Yes.
What did you tell your mother?
I told my mom that the police interviewed me and they questioned me and told me that if I didn't, tell them that I broke the phone, then they said I would be going to jail.
You know that I don't believe that. That's very hard for me to believe that. How old are you?
12.
That a policeman would say, if you don't say I broke the phone, you're going to jail.
He said that he would put criminal charges on my record.
First of all, that's different from saying you're going to go to jail. Did you tell your mom that the police told you were going to go to jail, or you would have criminal charges on your record?
Both.
And what about your dad? When did you speak to him?
Maybe Sunday. I get a chance to talk to him.
And did you tell your dad what had happened?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
That the police interviewed me and...
So far, it's not the police's problem, though, what happened with the phone. Let's not get the police involved with what happened with the phone. Police weren't there when her phone got broken, okay? So let us separate with the police and what happened with her phone, okay?
Okay, so...
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
There's the act of her losing her phone and then her phone getting destroyed. Second thing, which you seem to be concentrating on, is that the police spoke to you without your parents present and threatened you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's you and I concentrate on what happened with her phone. Now, when was the first time you saw Isaiah?
After 6th period, when he approached me and tried to grab the phone out of my hand, saying it was his.
And when did you see him again after this? What day did you see him again?
The first day that we came back from winter break.
Oh, so then you went on winter break?
Yes.
And have you spoken to Isaiah about the phone?
No.
Didn't say anything to him when you came back from winter break about the phone?
No.
And about you getting blamed for the phone?
No.
That sounds strange to me. Doesn't that sound strange to you?
Isaiah is like, he's like a mean kid, and I didn't want really any problems with him, so I just kept my mouth shut.
When you say Isaiah is a mean kid?
He's been in fights at my school, and he's a bully, kind of.
Thank you. May I see the school report, please? All right, Mr. Wilson, now I have some questions for you.
Okay.
You called Isaiah's parents?
No, I haven't been able to.
Did you attempt to contact them?
They wouldn't give me his full name. I didn't know exactly who the person was.
All right, this is a week later, and the school contacted you or the police contacted you?
The police contacted me. The school never contacted me.
Miss Lynch, I'm going to tell you like I told your son. I'm separating this thing into two incidents. One involves the taking and destruction of this young girl's phone. The other involves whether the principal and or the police did everything correctly. Okay. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
I'm not here to evaluate whether the police or the principal or the authorities from school did everything correctly. I'm here to determine whether your son was at least in part responsible for the destruction of this young lady's phone. What I want your head to concentrate on, not whether somebody else did something bad, like the police or the school principal, but whether your son did something bad for which he should take responsibility. Do you get that?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Now, it appears from this that you told Mr. Huckabee that you would give him $400 in cash, that's according to the police, for the phone. That was over a week later. Did you tell the authorities that you would give Mr. Huckabee $400 for the phone? Or is this police report inaccurate?
It's
just very careful.
Okay. I did agree to give money for the phone because the police showed up at my house telling me that.
Again, we're making it the police's fault.
I'm not making this about the police. But what I'm saying is that the first time I heard about this officially was from the police when they showed up at my door.
No, the first time you heard about it officially, based upon what your son told me, was the next day when he told you, and then there was winter break. That's when you first heard about it.
Yes, but we did not have the complete story about.
Just a second.
What happened with the phone.
Well, you had the complete version from your 12-year-old child the very next day. Whether it was truthful or not, the very next day. So if what you're saying to me is that a child of yours, that in this circumstances, this was wrong, it's a wrong thing to happen. I'm talking about a very bad act. And if they tell you about it immediately, or you find out, you find blood on their clothes or stolen property in your house, and they tell you about it, and then the police, for whatever reason, don't conduct an investigation appropriately, that does not diminish the fact that there was a wrongful act done.
I understand.
And that's for you, too. The fact that you weren't officially told until a week later when somebody came and told you, as far as I'm concerned, you pick up the phone as soon as you have the conversation with your child. You say, give me the name of the person whose phone you were involved with, and I'm going to contact them and make this right.
Absolutely.
That's not what you did.
Well, it was the beginning of spring break. The next day, there was no school. So it was the weekend.
So what?
So who do I contact? The school is not open.
He knows the boy's name.
Well, we don't have the boy's phone number. My son does not have a phone. We don't have his phone number.
Do you have a phone?
I don't know his parents.
Do you have a phone?
I do have a phone.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You had nothing but time to get Isaiah's information.
From where?
The school does not give us that information.
Mr. Wilson, again, it's somebody else's fault.
It is.
And it's...
Today.
She knew I was not working at the time. I was going through a difficult time.
I don't care. If you're going through a difficult time,
we had an agreement.
Listen to me. If you don't have money, you don't get Botox.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michael Huckabee is accusing 12-year-old Stockton Wilson of breaking his daughter's iPhone.
Okay, what I'm telling you is you had nothing but time to get Isaiah's information.
From where?
From who? The school does not give us that information.
Wilson, again, it's somebody else's fault.
It is.
And no, it's his fault and Isaiah's fault. That's what this says, and if you read between the lines, that's what he told me. And according to this, Isaiah threw it, but he also threw it.
He was made to say that, though, and that's very important.
Mr. Wilson, understand something. He was involved.
He wasn't involved. His only involvement was picking up the phone, trying to find the rightful owner, someone coming up to him, bullying him, taking the phone, throwing it on the ground, him being taken to the office and being accused of something that they know he didn't do. But they said if he did not say he did it, then he would be arrested.
Just a second. Did you hear the police say that to him?
I did not have to hear it.
Just a second.
Your Honor.
No,
I'm asking you if you...
To be in the room with him while he was being investigated by police, and that's not right.
Just a second. Mr. Wilson, I'm not disagreeing with you that if a parent was not present, a 12-year-old should not be questioned by the police.
They never called us. I'm sorry.
Just a second.
They never called
You're
us.
not following me.
I'm following very close.
No, you're not following me, Mr. Wilson, because a 12-year-old who's smart, and your son isn't stupid, is he?
No,
he's very intelligent.
He's very intelligent. If I found a phone on the floor, I would take the phone and take it to a teacher, walk it to the principal's office and say, I just found this phone on the floor.
Well, the reason why...
No, you're going to give me the reason why now?
Well, what my son said to me was that most of the kids that are in his 6th period are in his 7th period. So he was asking around on his way to 7th period to see if he could give the phone back.
And what I'm telling you is...
Isaiah in the process.
What I'm telling you is... You can make 1,000,001 excuses.
Sure.
And what you're doing is saying is it's the police's fault. It's the principal's fault.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's the holidays' fault.
No.
It's the fault that we didn't have. It's everybody else's fault.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's not what we're saying.
I'm saying he could have made a different decision, but at the end of the day, he had no malicious intent, and it wasn't his fault that someone took the phone and threw it on the ground.
You've just crept into his... Miss Lynch told the police she was going to pay Mr. Huckabee $400. That's exactly what she's going to do. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. We're done.
Thank you. Parties are excused. You may step out.
They only talked to me and blamed everything on me.
Happy that it's over with.
He was trying to be a good Samaritan.
He actually was very apologetic and initially took responsibility for what his son did.
It's in the past now.
Don't take things that don't belong to you.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Vieira versus Barber. Step forward.
Diane Vieira is suing her former friend, Adrian Barber, for a credit card bill, hotel bill, and a trampoline.
I'm going to start with you, Miss Barber. The plaintiff and you were friends. She's suing you for some money that she says you owe her as a result of a variety of little loans or little incidents. She says that you owe her for money that was spent on some sort of a medical care card. What was that about? Tell me.
We had got that medical card, like I
said,
together, yes.
How do you get a card together?
She was a co-signer.
What does that mean?
We got a card, and she
Why didn't you get your own card?
I didn't have the credit.
And you wanted facials?
Yeah.
What else did you want?
We were going to get both.
Not we.
We were
Not
getting
we. When you get
Botox.
facials, there's only one person in the machine. When you...
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
A letter from a collections company for a jointly named credit card doesn't help me. You got it? I'm just telling you, it's your responsibility. You're the plaintiff. You're supposed to get it all together.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diane Vieira is suing her former friend, Adrian Barber, for a credit card bill, hotel bill, and a trampoline.
Did you get facials?
No.
Did you get Botox?
Yes.
How much was the Botox?
I think $450.
How much was her Botox?
Your Honor, I don't know the exact prices because once the care card was approved, it was on her to charge it.
Did you charge anything on the credit card?
Hers? No.
On hers?
No.
Can
I
I
had
see?
my own.
Can I see her bills?
All I have, Your Honor, is the bill, the collection.
That doesn't do it for me. Sorry. That
Your
doesn't do
Honor,
it for me. That doesn't do it for me.
Okay,
the collections letter doesn't do it for me.
But Your Honor.
Here, listen to me. You get a bill. It delineates what it was for.
I didn't get the bills. She got them because she
signed for her.
Correct.
To get her own card.
Correct.
Is that card only in her name?
No, it's also in mine.
Then I can't help you.
Why?
Because I don't know what you did and what she did.
I didn't charge on hers.
What I'm telling you is, I'm trying to help you. I'm here to look at your evidence. A letter from a collections company for a jointly named credit card doesn't help me. It is insufficient evidence. You got it? I'm just telling you, it's your responsibility. You're the plaintiff. You're supposed to get it all together. You're supposed to call the credit card company and say to them, I need an outline of what was spent on the card that she had, and I know what I spent on my card.
But my card was separate from hers.
Good. Okay. I can't help you other than to say she says she spent $450 on Botox, which she has to pay for.
But she hasn't paid.
But
just a second.
We had an agreement that she knew I was not working at the time. I was going through a difficult time.
Just I don't care. If you're going through a difficult time,
we had an agreement.
Listen to me. If you don't have money, you don't get Botox. You buy food, you take care of your children if you have them, but you don't spend somebody else's money to get Botox.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What's next? Trampoline. Let's get to the trampoline. When was it purchased?
It was in November, Your Honor, of 2016.
A year ago. 2 years ago.
Yes. We were at Old Stump Brewery having a beer, Your Honor.
I don't, listen to me, I don't care. All right, next. I have $450 for Botox. What's next?
Your Honor, let me finish talking about this.
I'm telling you to go next.
But it was for her kids.
Next.
It was for your kid, too.
Next.
But you said you were going to pay it back.
How was I going to pay it back when you knew I wasn't working?
Do you want me to
and didn't have a
dismiss your
job?
case? You have one other bill.
So we went to Vegas for her daughter's cheer competition, Your Honor, and she agreed to pay half of the hotel stay, which she never paid.
And how much was the room?
It ended up being $349.
$350 for the room?
Correct.
Okay, that's $175 for her.
Correct.
That's $625 for Botox and half her room. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Glad it's done. It's over.
I was tired of her taking advantage of my generosity.
Honestly, I think it's more of, I'm just glad it's over with.
Good riddance.
I'm like, dude, what's your problem?
Well, you already know what his problem is. He's drunk and acting stupid.
Behind the wheel after a night out.
So you're arguing with each other, and you both had been drinking.
Then their fight.
He's in my face. I pushed him.
Went into overdrive.
He punches me in the side of the face twice.
He stopped the car on the freeway.
He mushed you. You hit him twice. First.
I didn't like being touched.
Well, that's too bad.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
25-year-old Aaron Gale is suing his ex-boyfriend, Nathaniel Briscoe, for assaulting him during a ride home from a club.
Order. All rise. Case number 189 on the calendar in the matter of Gale versus Briscoe.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Mr. Gale, you and Mr. Briscoe used to be friends, that you had an altercation. You each claimed that the other assaulted you.
Correct.
You want to tell me the date of this incident, where you were, and when it started?
6th on the freeway, California 163 North.
And that was of this year?
Yes.
What time?
Approximately about 2:30 to 2:40, about 2:30.
In the morning?
Yes.
And you had both been at a bar, club, or whatever, and
yes.
both had been drinking?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You were driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you had been drinking?
Yes.
You were sitting in the back seat?
I was sitting in the middle row. He has a SUV that has 3 rows. I was sitting in the middle row. In the middle seat. He was sitting in the driver's seat.
Was anybody sitting next to you?
No.
Was anybody in the 3rd row?
No.
Was anybody in the passenger seat, sir?
No, Your Honor.
So it was just the 2 of you in the car?
Correct.
Yes,
And I don't know why you got in the back of the car, sir, if it was just the 2 of you. Were you very drunk?
I definitely was drinking, but I was very cognizant of everything that was going on.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
So, well, I like to be logical. So if your friend is giving you a ride home, even though he's been drinking and shouldn't be behind the wheel, it would seem to me you would sit next to him in the passenger seat, not in...
So basically when I'm in an Uber or something, I always like to sit in like the back. That's just kind of my preference in the middle row.
Okay. And you got into an argument.
Correct.
Now he's driving, right?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So basically at the club...
don't give me basically.
There was a small verbal exchange that I made about a cocktail of choice that him and his cousins were drinking. They immediately took offense, and so I dismissed myself shortly after, and I went to another space. The venue is very big, so there was plenty of other place for me to intermingle. After the club let out, I actually was going to get myself a ride. Mr. Briscoe approached me.
You were going to give yourself a ride how?
Uber or Lyft.
Okay.
So then he approached me and asked me, would he like to take me home? I said, yeah, that's fine. I have no problem being dropped off, because when the club lets out, fares are higher because everyone's leaving at once.
Don't give me a whole long story. I don't have the time. Right now, I'm dealing with 2 drunks.
Okay.
And one of them is driving.
So basically, I agreed.
No, basically.
Sorry. I agreed, and so I went in the car. So during the incident of the drive, he expressed to me about the joke I made and how he felt like I was rude, and so that's when I was annoyed, and I expressed to him that, hey, I don't know them, I've barely known you, you've known me to have this jovial, sarcastic personality.
You're having this whole discussion.
Yes.
You're having this like you're having with me. I'm just curious.
Well,
you want me to believe that you're having a discussion? You know, I'm a jovial guy.
I was more
aggressive.
Yes, I was verbally aggressive.
Yes. How were you verbally aggressive?
I was slightly.
Not basically.
Cursing. Sorry.
I don't want you to tell me basically.
Sorry.
I want you to tell me. So now we're beyond I'm a jovial guy into I was slightly more verbally aggressive.
Yes.
So I would like you to tell me.
He was yelling in my ear, Your Honor.
I would like you to tell me.
So I told him that you've always known me to be this sarcastic person. I don't really care what they think. I don't really care about what you think, and that I don't have to meet them or know them. You introduced them to me. And so at that point I was annoyed. When I got angry was when he specifically started instructing me on what I should have said, and he told me.
All right, so you're arguing with each other.
Right.
And you're both angry, and you both had been drinking. How does your head get in between his hand and the middle seat in the back?
So what he does is that he has his steering wheel, and he takes his right hand while he's driving, and he smacks me lightly, but still to the point to where it was in my face.
Just a second. How do you do that? Now, I have an SUV that has a back seat, and when they build those seats so that you actually can't whip your hand around, so you can't do that. If you're sitting back, you can't do that.
Right.
Were you in his face?
No.
So he took his hand off the steering wheel and went back and pushed your face back. How far back did he push your face?
He didn't push my face, he just hit me in the head.
Like this?
Yes, with his right hand. So then I got...
Go ahead.
So then I got mad and I hit him back twice.
How did you hit him back twice?
I hit him back twice, hard. 1, 2.
On what?
On his face.
On his head?
Yes.
Well, his face wasn't turned towards you, sir. He's driving.
Yeah.
So you had to hit him on his head?
Yes. So then I said, don't ever touch me again and let me out of the car.
Okay.
So then he let me out of the car.
He stopped the car.
He stopped the car on the freeway.
And you got out?
I got out. Then he got out of the car and called my name twice, and I continued walking. Then he came up from behind me, sucker punched me when I turned around, and then he tackled me to the ground, sat on top of me, and began swinging at my face continuously for a good minute to about 1:15. Then someone else came up in another car. I couldn't recognize their voice. I didn't see them because the whole time I was shielding my face. Not only that, he's about 6'4", about 275 pounds. If he's sitting on me, I can't move. My medical records show that.
Just a second. You started to tell me.
Yes, it was a white car. I couldn't see who it was, but they came up behind him and they said, yo, stop, you gotta get off him, we gotta go. I can't be here, you can't be here. Then Nathaniel stood over me and made an expression of, you said all those things to me because you know I like you, and why would you do that? And then he got in his car, his friend or cousin got in their car, and they drove off and left me there. Then I walked about 30 minutes to the nearest downtown exit to where someone in an office building at that time with a clear door saw my contusions. My face was very messed up. They called the ambulance, they brought me in, and I have a full ophthalmology report about everything they did from the moment I was admitted.
Let's go.
Okay, so it did happen on the night of July 25th, the morning of July 26th. We were at the club, we were drinking. I did not get upset with him talking about the drink.
I don't care. Get in the car. Now you're in the car. You're driving.
We're in the car.
home.
I asked him why didn't he get in the front seat. He's never gotten in the back seat in my car before, and so he's just like, well, I ain't feel like sitting up there, and so he's already aggressive, and I'm just like, he was like, your cousin's ratchet, your brother's ratchet, and I'm just like, ratchet how?
Don't use like or basically.
Well, he said that they were ratchet, and I asked him how are they ratchet. Well, they drink
They're
Hennessy.
what? Ratchet?
Yeah, ghetto.
What does that mean?
Ghetto, and it's because they were drinking a drink Hennessy and cranberry. He thinks it's a ratchet drink, and it's whatever. It's their choice of a drink. So he's continuing to... he's continuing to, like, argue, and I'm like, stop being disrespectful to my brother and my cousin. They drink what they drink. That doesn't make them ratchet. He goes, you're not going to tell me what they do. I was like, well, I'm dropping you off at home. Like, let's just be quiet until then. And he goes and says, you're not going to tell me what they do. And I'm like...
Can you speak without using the word like?
Like is my filler word.
I know, but we're going to not use it here because it's irritating. And then I have editors that I have to pay to take out the word like, because nobody out there wants to hear the word like.
I told him, like, just be quiet. I'm taking you home. Like, we don't have to talk, like, ever after this or whatever. And then we're driving southbound on the 163, not northbound. And he's in my face, like, in my face. And I, like, pushed him away from me because he's in the middle part. I have pictures of how big my car is. He punches me in the side of the face twice. I tell him to get out. He punches my passenger side window. I'm like, dude, what's your problem? Like, what's going on? That's outside of the car.
That's not true.
I'm trying to resolve this without being physical with him. And so I, like, grab his shoulder and I, like, turn him around. I'm like, what's his problem?
Just a second.
Stop using like.
No, listen to me. Now you stop the car.
Yes.
And he gets out.
And punches my driver's side window.
Punches your driver's side window.
Not driver's side, passenger side window. I'm sorry,
Passenger side window. Doesn't break it.
And I asked him, what's his problem?
Good. Well, you already know what his problem is. He's drunk and he was acting stupid. And then what?
I get out and I ask him, what's your problem?
Why did you get out of the car?
I don't know, Your
Why
Honor.
did you get out of the car?
I was trying to figure out what was...
Okay. Now you're out of the car.
I'm out of the car.
And?
I grab his shoulder.
So you grabbed him.
I grab his shoulder and I'm like...
Now, let me explain to you. Up until that point, he was the aggressor. I'm finding that he did, in fact, punch you, that you mushed his face to get back. You didn't hit him, not even he says you hit him. You pushed him to get back because he was drunk and being stupid and arguing about nonsense. And then he acknowledges he punched you twice in the head. Terrible. And if you had turned around and clocked him at that moment, perfectly fine. But then there's a break in the theater. And the break is you stop, you tell him to get out, he gets out of the car. What you do is, right now you're not injured. You get out of the car and grabbed him, according to you, by the shoulder.
I didn't, it wasn't like a I like grabbed his shoulder, but it wasn't like aggressive. I'm like, hey.
Your Honor, I have the...
I don't want to hear you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What I'm telling you is, I'm accepting what you tell me.
Okay.
You hit him first. He mushed you. No injury. You hit him twice. First.
I didn't like being touched.
Well, that's too bad.
And later today,
Did you pay any of this money back to her?
First payment was not actually due to the end of the following month. Once she discovered the payment of the card, she discontinued the cards. She cut them off.
So what does that have to do with my question?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Aaron Gale says his ex-boyfriend, Nathaniel Briscoe, assaulted him during an argument while driving home from a night of drinking.
Go ahead.
I'm like, hey, what's wrong? And so when I did that, he swung on me again, and then he punched me in my left shoulder, and that's when I punched him in the face. I never sat on him at all. I didn't tackle him to the ground.
Let me tell you what your defense is. Your defense is he started the fight, I finished it, and if you start a fight and if you get the tail end of the fight, then that's your problem. Your problem is that the action stopped without any, didn't escalate to somebody getting hurt, because you didn't get hurt. He's going to show me his injuries, and it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't gotten out of your car.
I had a moment, a lapse in judgment at the moment.
Good.
Your
That's
Honor.
what happens. And you have a lapse in judgment, and unfortunately, you shouldn't be driving a car if you've been drinking, because most lapses of judgment occur when they're blurred by something else. Alcohol, drugs, something. I mean, you can have a lapse in judgment when you're sober, but you're more likely to have a lapse in judgment when you don't have judgment, because it wasn't good judgment to get behind the wheel of a car. Okay, now let me see the medical report and photographs of your injuries, please.
The police department would not release the photographs to me without a subpoena, but I do have the ophthalmology report, the medical record, the medical
like to see
bills that equal over $27,000, and also the victim compensation board that explains everything that happened as well. Also, the injuries don't constitute a single blow to the face.
Listen to me. I've explained the law to him. You hit him first. You were drinking. He was drinking.
Your Honor, may I say one thing? Also, that's not the same thing he told to the... We had a previous restraining order hearing. That's not his same story. He told a different story in court. Mine was still the same, and she granted me a restraining order against him.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Just a second. What I'm telling you is I'm accepting what you tell me.
Okay.
You hit him first. He mushed you. No injury. You hit him twice. First.
I didn't like being touched.
Well, that's too bad. It doesn't excuse him. When the action stops and he had the opportunity to get away from somebody who was drunk and had hit him, he should have been smart enough to do it. And it was, as he says, a lapse in judgment. They charged you $20,000 for 1 day in the hospital for a black eye?
It was more than just a black eye, Your Honor.
You didn't have any medical insurance, is that right?
I did. I put it to them. The Victims' Compensation Board is supposed to be the first one to clear everything because I was considered the victim of a violent crime, and then I have to consult my insurance after that.
So I actually don't know how much of these bills are going to be covered by insurance.
Right.
Okay.
So, and I don't really know either because the application
I don't know either.
is
Then
still
maybe
pending.
you're a little premature.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
did you ever pay her back?
No, ma'am. I had actually no financial responsibility to pay it back. I brought this to Jessica's attention.
I don't understand what you're talking about, sir.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Aaron Gale says his ex-boyfriend, Nathaniel Briscoe, assaulted him during an argument while driving home from a night of drinking.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Briscoe? You have these two people here.
Two witnesses.
Well, there was nobody else in the car.
He said that my brother or my cousin, that's part of his story that he's saying, showed up. My brother and my cousin were with them.
Doesn't matter. What does that matter? You had an error in judgment.
Yes.
And he was injured as a result of your error in judgment. And your error in judgment has to cost you something. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's it. We're done.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
I'm just happy that this is over with and I don't have to deal with him any longer.
Did I throw the first blow? Possibly.
You're not gonna just hit me and get away with it.
But he definitely shouldn't have touched me, and I felt uncomfortable with that anyway.
Don't take drunk people home.
It's an angry girl. There are victims in there, but on the streets, they're thugs.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dixon versus Thompson. Step forward.
Jessica Dixon is suing her former friend, Monte Thompson, and the return of furniture.
Miss Dixon, when and how did you meet the defendant?
It was towards the end of 2017. We met online.
And when did you decide to live together?
I moved in with him January of 2018.
You took a lease on together?
No, I never signed the lease agreement, no.
Is that correct, Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still living in the apartment?
Yes, I am.
When did Miss Dixon move out of the apartment?
She moved out in March.
And you're still there?
Yes, ma'am. Barely.
Good. And the lease is in your name?
It is.
Great. And I want you to tell me about using her credit card. Under what circumstances did you use her credit card?
Actually, to pay a lawyer fee.
How much?
$4,000.
How did you get her credit card?
It was not actually her credit card. It was my credit card, ma'am.
We were actually, he's a co-applicant, so we were on the credit card together.
Why?
Well, prior to moving in, we came to the agreement that by me adding him to a couple of my credit cards would help build his credit, because I had good credit at the time, and he had the income. So it was pretty much for a business venture. He was going to auctions to buy cars and then flip them. That was the reason for us moving in together, to help build credit.
I don't know whether that is the reason you moved in together or not. However, I'd like to see the charge on the credit card for $4,000.
A custody battle with my daughter at the time, and me and Jessica actually agreed that I would be the only one to use that card.
That's not true.
Just a second.
The card that he was using...
Just hold on a second. That was in March of this year.
Yes.
Did you pay any of this money back to her?
Actually, first payment was not actually due to the end of the following month. She actually, once she discovered the payment of the card, she discontinued the cards. She cut them off.
What does that have to do with my question?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, this is your custody, your kid, your lawyer. Did you ever pay her back?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Why? Because we had an arrangement. We had an agreement. See, first off, we agreed that I would be added as an authorized user to her card. Once I discovered that as an authorized user, I had actually no financial responsibility to pay it back. I brought this to Jessica's attention and let her know about the Legion card. I said, Jessica, listen, I said, good thing that it's me. But I said, but if anybody else you would have done this to could have led you in a bad situation.
I don't understand what the hell you're talking about, sir. That's a lot of double talk. You think that you can get away with double talk with me? I asked her whether you ever paid her back the $4,000.
Up and she left, and she stuck me with the lease.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Balance of the money that I had to spend for the lease, she agreed to pay the credit card off herself.
We didn't have any agreement on me paying that.
She initially wanted a relationship.
I wasn't going there for relationship purposes.
She definitely wasn't my type at all.
I want no contact with this guy.
Are the kids across the street trouble?
They pushed my son.
And you saw these two boys vandalizing your car.
The oldest one hit my vehicle, the youngest one kicked.
Or is the problem closer to home?
Who broke the car?
Calvin did.
Tell me how that happened.
With a stick.
And the judge's bottom line.
You both allowed your young children to be outside unattended.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tykeisha Johnson is suing her neighbor, Nakaya McDonald, for damage to her car caused by her sons and punitive damages.
It's case number 218 on the calendar in the matter of Johnson versus McDonald.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Miss Johnson, how many children do you have?
3.
How old are they?
12, 4, and 1.
And this is the 4-year-old?
Yes.
On what date do you claim that Mrs. McDonald's 2 little boys damaged your car?
April 11th.
And you also claim that they were bullying your little boy?
Yes.
What time did this happen?
April 11th around 5:24.
Who was at home?
Me, my mother, and my children.
Where was your mother?
In the living room.
Where was your 12-year-old?
In the living room.
Where was your 1-year-old?
In the living room.
Are your houses close together?
3 houses apart, across the street.
So they're across the street from each other?
Correct.
What was your son doing outside alone?
He was outside in my front yard.
What was he doing outside alone?
My daughter was in the door. She was in the living room in the door.
No, that's baloney. You said your mother and your daughter were in the living room.
Correct.
So nobody was outside with him.
Okay, correct.
How old was he when you let him go outside by himself, unsupervised?
He was outside by my porch. He was literally outside.
You get where I'm going?
Yes,
I
I
mean,
do.
if he was on your porch, you mean these 2 boys came up on your porch? You didn't.
I was in my living room.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You were in your living room and you saw that?
Yes.
That they came up on the porch?
Yes, I don't have a big house. I don't have a big house, Your Honor.
I'm going to read you your complaint.
Okay.
That you signed and you swore to.
Okay.
I thought I was losing my mind that you were now in the living room with your daughter and your mother, who were in the living room now with the doorway.
Okay.
I had just stepped out of the shower. Is your shower in your living room?
It is not.
And I saw the boys vandalizing my car through the window.
Yes.
Well, that all happened on the same day, at the same time.
It did.
So if your shower wasn't in the living room, how could you be in the living room with your mother and your daughter?
Because when the incident occurred between the 2 boys, I was in the living room. When they vandalized my vehicle was matters later. After I had went and got in the shower, when I stepped out of the shower, they were at my vehicle. That's why.
Where was your son when they were vandalizing your car?
In my front yard.
So you know that this is not going to work out well for you.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
No, you're not misunderstanding. You're lying. There's a difference between misunderstanding and lying.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
Okay.
So is what you're telling me, you first observed your son being bullied by these 2 boys and push him down and with the boys. And then when you came out of the shower, you looked outside from your shower and you saw these 2 boys vandalizing your car. That's what you're telling me. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right. So let's start out with the premise that I don't think a 4-year-old should be outside unsupervised.
Okay.
Especially when there's a street that separates him from other little boys. And I wouldn't be comfortable with a 4-year-old seeing 2 little boys that he plays with come over to his house, and I wouldn't be comfortable with, at some point, him not crossing the street to go over to their house. And in this street, there is a flow of traffic. Cars do go in the street. Are you looking at me quizzically? I don't live in your neighborhood, so I can't tell you whether cars go in your street. Do cars go in the street?
Cars do go in the street, but my son does not go across the street at all. He's never been over to their house. Our children don't play together. This was literally a matter of what I saw with my own eyes, Your Honor.
Well, if what you're telling me, you saw with your own eyes your son being bullied and then went up to take a shower, then what I'm telling you is that you have a screw loose. That's what you just told me.
Okay, so
That's what you just told me.
No, that isn't what I said. I was just trying to explain to you what happened on the day that it occurred, and I really didn't get a chance.
The thing I wanted to find out was whether your 4-year-old was outside unsupervised. And when you got to where I was going, you said, well, my 12-year-old, who had been in the living room with my mother, was now standing outside at the front door.
No. She was standing in the door. She was standing in the door. My mom was in the living room. I always allow her to stand in the door and watch my son. I do not.
Okay, I'm going to let you finish telling your story. I don't believe a word you're saying to me.
Okay.
I'm just telling you that.
Okay. Well, on the 11th at 5:24, I noticed that the 2 children were in my yard. And they pushed my son, and they called him a retard. When they called him a retard, he came in and he told me. When he went back in the house, I didn't have any clothes on because I was getting in the shower. I got in the shower. When I stepped out of the shower.
What'd you get in the shower for? Why didn't you go outside and see what was going on?
Because I didn't have any clothes on. I was in the midst of getting in the shower when he told me about it.
Instead of getting in the shower, if my son came in and said something happened to me outside that I was uncomfortable with, I wouldn't say to him, you can go back outside.
I was already in the bed. Maybe I should have. You're right. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. I had a different way of doing things that day.
And why didn't he tell your mother that somebody was bullying him? She was right in the living room. He didn't have to find you in the shower. He had a 12-year-old that was watching him at the door,
yes.
You just told me.
Yes, she did. Yes, she was.
All right. Get over. Now let's see if I believe you when you tell me you saw them vandalizing your car.
Okay, so when I stepped out of the shower, I was in the living room talking to my mother, and I have a storm window in my front yard, my front living room. And I noticed that the oldest child had a mop handle, and the youngest child was standing next to him. And the oldest one hit my vehicle, the youngest one kicked. They took turns. As I put on my clothes, I went to the door, and I went outside, and I said, stop. They ran home. I went to talk to the sister, because the mother wasn't available. The sister told me that. She'll call her sister. I talked to the sister. She flat out refused to pay because she said her children weren't supposed to be.
Who's the sister?
Her sister, the defendant's sister.
Well, what'd you speak to her sister for?
She wasn't at home at the time. The defendant wasn't at home at the time. The sister was watching the children.
On that day?
Correct.
On the 11th, you went over to her house?
Correct.
Stay still. Stay still. How old are your children?
5 and 7.
What are they doing outside unsupervised?
They were not supposed to be outside on that day.
But they were?
They were.
Who was supposed to be watching them?
My sister.
How old is she?
She's 23.
What was she doing?
To my knowledge, in the house with her 2 babies.
Where were you?
At work.
Not a reliable babysitter for your children?
Clearly. After that incident, yes.
How long have you been living in your house?
Since January.
Ever had any negative dealings with the plaintiff before?
No, since then, no.
Not before that?
No.
No. So when your sister called you at work and said there had been a complaint that the boys damaged the plaintiff's car, were you surprised?
Very.
Did you ask her where she was?
Yeah.
And she told you I was inside?
Yeah, and I asked her why were they outside. I gave her specific instructions before I left home not to even let them go outside if they were to ask. She let them go outside. She had a headache. That was her excuse.
Okay. You have pictures of the car?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. What's your oldest little boy's name?
Leo.
Leo. Come up here. What's your aunt's name?
Her name is Nina.
How many babies?
She has 2.
Did you ask her if you could go out?
No, she just let us go out.
She told you to go out?
Yes.
Had your mother told you that you couldn't go out?
My mom said we couldn't go out.
She said you couldn't?
Yes, she said we couldn't.
But your aunt said you could?
Yes.
And do you play with this little boy? Look here. Do you play with him? Before that day, had you ever played with him?
When we were friends, yes, but not anymore because me and my brother, when he is a bully to us and he likes to say mean words to us, he tries to fight us and we try to fight him back.
But you and your brother went over to his side of the street. You crossed the street.
Mm-hmm.
And was he in his yard?
No, he saw me and my brother in his yard.
So you and your brother were in his yard?
Yeah, and trying to get him to come outside so we could play with him. And then after that, we didn't do nothing to his mom's window or anything. He was the one that did it. He broke it. It wasn't me or my brother.
Who broke the car?
Calvin did.
Tell me how that happened.
With a stick.
Where did he get the stick from?
It's one of the branches sticks from the high tree.
So it was a branch?
Yes.
Stop.
Problem, Miss Johnson, is I don't necessarily believe that you saw either one of these 2 boys break your car. I can only say that because the story that you gave me at the beginning was riddled with holes in it. So I believe part of what he says, necessarily believe everything that he's telling me. I don't believe that you saw them damaging your car, because my problem is if you lie to me once, I can't rely on it. And the truth of the matter is, I really think that you both deserve what happened that day because you both allowed your young children to be outside unattended. So fix your car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I suggest you keep both your children under careful surveillance. Do you understand? Do you understand?
I hear you, ma'am.
Good.
And later today,
She immediately starts screaming at the top of her lungs.
No, that wasn't true.
He didn't interrupt you. I don't want you to interrupt him.
She said, "You're going to pay for my stuff." It started with an S, but it wasn't stuff.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tykesha Johnson says neighbor Nakaya McDonald is responsible by her young sons.
Now, if this 5-year-old hit your car with a mop handle, it didn't cause damage so that you couldn't ride in it. I suggest you keep both your children under careful surveillance. Do you understand? Do you understand?
I hear you, ma'am.
Good. I know I've made my point with you. Having 4-year-old grandchildren, I don't think that a 4-year-old belongs outside in the street unattended, and I think you let your son go outside unattended. Either you did or your 12-year-old daughter did, who was supposed to be watching him. We're done here. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think that due to nervousness, she took me as I was lying.
I'm happy with it.
I know what I saw.
I hope we can come to a mutual agreement.
It's just unfortunate that she didn't believe me.
And settle our differences so the kids can play.
But I'm not sure what the future holds.
It's really ridiculous, so I'm just hoping everything blows over.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Adams versus Wright. Step forward.
Sharonda Adams is suing fellow motorist David Wright for an accident in an intersection.
You each claim that the other is responsible for an automobile accident.
Correct.
Correct.
This automobile accident happened where?
Arlington, Texas.
What time?
9:30 p.m.
Dark. On
Yes.
what date?
July 21st.
Of this year?
18 Nissan Altima. I had just purchased not even 30 days beforehand.
And you had full coverage on this car?
Yes, ma'am.
With a deductible?
Of $2,000.
And what kind of car were you driving?
I have a 2001 F-50 pickup.
And on the 21st of July, 2018 at 9:30 p.m., was that car insured?
Yes, ma'am.
For liability?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go over to your chart.
Oh, sir.
Please.
On 9:30, July 21st, Your Honor, I was at the stoplight right here, and the defendant was here, and we were waiting for the light to change. When the light changed, I proceeded out to go into my lane that way, and all of a sudden, all I heard was a car smash right into the back of me. Boom. If it was any harder, it would have pushed me over the overall.
What part of the car was hit?
Bumper part right here.
Do you have a photo of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Damage? I'd like to see it.
Thank you.
Have you had the car fixed?
No, it's still at the shop, Your Honor.
When did you take it in?
That Monday, which would probably been 21st, because I filed the claim with his insurance. The insurance company had said that they were going to go through all the damages and see if they had enough for a claim to pay for the damages. And then a month later, the insurance adjuster called me and said that since I didn't have a police report, that they weren't going to pay for the damages, but I can put in for medical, and I don't have $3,800 to fix that vehicle.
Well, you need only $2,000 because you have full coverage on the car.
I don't have $2,000, Your Honor.
Well, but that's what it would be if you used your insurance.
Right.
Okay. Have you notified your insurance company?
No, Your Honor, I didn't.
Why not?
Because I didn't want my insurance to go up. I just purchased this vehicle, and it would have been up. It went up.
That's what insurance is for.
I know.
Okay, you want to go over there and show me what you have?
I'm over here, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so on the evening of the 21st, I was stopped. I was going north on the access road.
So you claim that you were in
I'm in the purple here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Altima is in front of him.
Correct.
Correct. Right. No, your car is in that lane, sir. Not in that lane. Your car is in that lane.
Sharonda Adams says fellow motorist David Wright crossed into her lane while she was making a left turn.
So you claim that you were in the
I'm in the purple here. I'm going north because I want to turn left at the next intersection. I'm not turning left here. There are 4 lanes at this intersection. The left lane is a left turn only lane. the next lane over, the one
No,
I was in.
I see the arrows.
Okay.
So what you're saying is...
I'm going straight.
You're going straight, and the plaintiff tried to make a left turn from the center lane.
Correct.
That's not
The
correct.
plaintiff turned left into me as I was going straight. I hit the brake. We pulled off over here on the access road or on the overpass by the thing. I got out, check on her. She immediately starts screaming at the top of her lungs.
No, that wasn't true.
He didn't interrupt you. I don't want you to interrupt him.
She said, "You're going to pay for my stuff." It started with an S, but it wasn't stuff. Then she started going over and over again. I got to call someone, Roger, Robert, someone, I don't know. So I went back to my truck because obviously I wasn't going to be able to communicate. Told my son to call the police. He dialed 911. 20 minutes later, 2 Grand Prairie officers showed up. One went to her car, took her statement. One
Do
went,
you have that police
yes,
report?
Yes, ma'am, I sure do.
I'd like to see it.
The report from the officer that was with me.
I was with Officer Reed. Your Honor.
Just a second. They didn't ask for any information?
No, Your Honor. What the officer said, what Officer Reed said to me.
You can't tell me what the officer said to you.
That's
It's not in this report.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's just an informational report. He told me we don't know whose fault.
Listen to me.
You can't say.
You can't say what the police officer told you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have video footage to show exactly where our vehicles were because we were at a stoplight.
Okay, I'd like to see it. Where did you obtain this video from?
There is a corner store right there at the corner.
Okay, and you got it from them?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. Well, clearly, she's in the lane closer to the left. Sir, your truck is... Her car is farther from yours, from that camera.
I can't tell.
I can. I can. Your Altima is in front of him.
Correct.
Correct. Right. No, your car is in that lane, sir. Not in that lane. Your car is in that lane. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. We're finished.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm very happy for the decision.
I wish I had a dash cam.
He asked me if I was okay.
Quite agitated.
I said, no, I'm not okay. Because he just hit my brand new car.
The police said she was mad because of a brand new car.
Very frustrating because my vehicle still was not fixed.
But she was...
Of course, I had a brand new car.
Not very happy at all.
Now I'm glad to get the money to fix my vehicle now.
Take 2 best friends.
We went to like 5 bars that night.
Oh, interesting.
Add some alcohol.
You had tequila at all of them.
Yes.
And you end up with this.
So you went out for a cigarette and?
She got in my face accusing me of stealing other guys from her. She was attacking me. I was trying to get her off of me. She's been in.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
21-year-old Sierra Curtis is suing her former friend, 22-year-old Kaylee Aiello, for medical bills and damages after she assaulted her outside a bar.
Order. All rise. It's case number 222 on the calendar in the matter of Curtis versus Aiello.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
2 of you young ladies had been friends and went to a bar or a club on July 25th of this year. Both of you were probably drinking. You're going to tell me how much, and each of you claim that the other is responsible for an assault. What time did you get to the club?
I got there a little bit early, so probably around 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
Did you come together?
No.
What time did you get there?
Well, we actually did go there together, so around 10.
You went in the same vehicle?
Yes. She picked me up.
From where?
My house.
Where had you been prior to going to the club?
Actually, I'm sorry, Your Honor, that was correct. I forgot that night I did pick her up.
And prior to that, neither of you had been drinking? That's right?
No, yes, that's
Good.
right.
And what time did this incident?
1:40, it was closing time.
So by that time, you had at least 3 hours worth of drinking. I don't hear
That's correct.
This is both a talkie and a video. So that means a yes.
Yes.
And what kind of alcohol do you drink?
Tequila.
And you?
Not usually tequila, but that night, tequila.
So it's about closing time, and who wanted to go out for a cigarette?
I did.
Were you and Miss Aiello sitting together prior to that?
Yes, we were in front of the bar with a couple other people.
The couple of other people were men or women?
Men.
Anybody new and interesting?
No.
All people that you knew?
We did not know them. We met them that night.
But nothing interesting?
No.
Anything interesting for you?
She found the bartender pretty interesting.
Had you been to that bar before?
Yes, but I had never met him before.
Had you ever met him before?
Yes.
Name?
His name was Parker.
So you were more interested in Parker?
I mean, I wasn't interested. I was interested as a friend.
But more interested than the guys that you were standing around?
They were all together, but yeah.
Even the bartender?
Yes, he was behind the bar and we were at the bar.
So you went out for a cigarette and?
So I went out for a cigarette and I went with the group of people who were in there. We were talking outside. I was smoking a cigarette and she had followed me out and was talking with another group of people. And I was talking with this at me pretty much and she was like, oh, stop talking about me, all of these things. And I was like, I'm not even talking about you. Like, I'm not even next to you. You're over there. Like, leave me alone. And she just kept saying that I was talking crap. So then I was like, Kaylee, shut up. Like, I'm not even freaking talking about you. You're being really annoying. And by that time, I looked over and I got hit to the face. I fell down on the ground and she was attacking me. I was trying to get her off of me. I was kind of pushing her away and I was screaming. I looked over and I saw the bartender and I yelled at him to come pull her off of me.
And did he?
Yes.
Okay. You have photographs of your injuries?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see them.
And then I have photos of my injuries as well when you get a chance.
I'll get to you.
Okay.
So you had a swollen lip and you had a scraped knee. 2 of your nails broke. Did you seek medical attention for any of these injuries?
Yes, I went to the doctor.
Can I see the report, please?
These 2.
Picture of the medicine.
Correct.
Do you have a report?
No, they did not give me one, Your Honor.
Well, they don't give you one unless you ask for one. So they gave you aspirin.
Yes, ibuprofen.
Okay. Now you can tell me your version of the events.
So we went to the bar to see the bartender that she wanted to meet up with. After probably a drink there at the bar,
Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Just for my own ears, could you please talk and not sing?
Yeah.
Could you try just talking?
Yeah,
like
I can
I'm
try.
talking to you.
I
Do you
can try.
understand? Try talking, no singing.
Okay, so then after we met up with the bartender, we got a drink. She started accusing me of stealing him from her, and I told her I didn't want anything to do with him. She asked me to go outside and smoke a cigarette with her, and I don't
this
smoke.
is 3 hours later. You got there at 10 o'clock. We're now talking 1:30, so that's 3.5 hours later.
Throughout the night?
I'm just talking, you got there at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And then you went outside for a cigarette, but that was at 1:30 in the morning. During that period of time, 3 hours, the 2 of you were sitting there and drinking.
Not at that bar.
At which bar?
We went to like 5 bars that night.
Oh, interesting. So this was the last one you went to?
Yes.
And you had tequila at all of them?
Yes.
And you were driving?
No.
Well, you picked her up?
My friend picked her up with me, and she ended up all
Just a second.
didn't have money.
Who was driving?
My friend.
Whose car?
My friend Rachel.
It was her car?
It was her car. I was in the car with her.
You were in the passenger seat?
Correct.
So at the time you were in the last bar, how did you get to the last bar?
They were all next to each other downtown, so we walked.
So now you're at the last bar meeting up with Parker?
Yes.
Okay, go.
So after meeting up with Parker, when she started accusing me of wanting to steal him from her, I told her that I didn't want anything to do with him. She asked me to go outside with her and smoke a cigarette. And I don't smoke, but I usually go outside with her whenever she does, because we stick together when we go downtown. And we both went outside together, and she got in my face accusing me of stealing other guys from her. Am I going to steal this one like you did the rest? And she's been insecure the whole time we've been friends. And she grabbed me by the hair, went to pull me down. We both fell to the ground. Probably scuffled for a minute, and it got broken up.
By whom?
I have no idea. Just random people. And Parker also never left the bar. He didn't split up the fight. I have messages from him, Your Honor.
I don't. If you needed Parker, he should have been here. I don't take messages from somebody
Well, I
who's not
have a message stating that he did pull her off of me and went back to the bar.
Listen to me. Don't you understand? La la, that comes to the la la la. I don't read messages from people who are not here.
Okay.
Do you have photographs of your injuries?
To come to court, so I wasn't taking photos like I would have if I knew.
Listen, I don't care what you. I don't care what you don't have. Well, it means nothing to me what you don't have. What you do have would be important.
And this is from a bite.
Oh, I don't know that.
It's about a week later.
I don't know that. Okay, so I have no injuries for you, so your counterclaim is dismissed.
Well, I also have tuition reimbursement and dental bills.
Listen to me. I asked you to show me your injuries. What you showed me is nothing. Now, you have other injuries that you would like to address?
Well, in my counterclaim, I had...
No. That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
If it's a yes. And you have dental bills from on or about the date of this incident.
Yes.
Not bill. I want to see the notes from the dentist.
Yeah, that's on here.
Great. Has nothing to do with this case at all.
I got x-rays and a filling had popped out.
I don't know what in the world this is. It said that you had x-rays and then you had 2 resin-based compost surface posts.
Yeah, that was the filling on the side. So they took an x-ray because my jaw was swollen. So they took an x-ray to make sure
Show
there's no
me your
damage
draw.
to that.
Yeah, your counterclaim's dismissed. You see, my problem, Miss Curtis, is when 2 people are drunk and they get into a scuffle and one gets a little more injured than the other, unless somebody decides to use a weapon, it usually comes under the category of courts don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
You got a scraped knee and a swollen lip.
I just wanted reimbursement for the damages.
I don't care what you want. She says she went to the dentist because her jaw hurt her. You had a swollen lip and a scraped knee.
I had my lips done, Your Honor, and it caused damage to them.
We're done.
Okay.
Don't get drunk. It's unladylike. It's stupid. Do you understand? Great. Got it?
Yep. Yes.
Good. Bye.
Great, thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It started out good, but I think her insecurities got the best of her. I honestly don't know. I'm not insecure. I had a swollen jaw, and she bit me. I went outside, and she did attack me, kind of like a rabid dog. I did not fight her back. I did try pushing her off. I think that she needs to learn how to control her alcohol. I mean, I drink tequila all the time, and I always have fun, so we probably would have been better off without it. We are definitely not talking. I don't think I'll ever talk to her again. Time to go separate.
All parties in the matter of Kimyayi versus Stallworth. Step forward.
21-year-old Arna Kimyayi is suing her former business partner, Mary Stallworth, for damages resulting from the dissolution of their partnership in a salon.
Ms. Kimyaki, it is your claim that the defendant breached a contract that you had with her to partner in a salon, and as a result of that, you suffered damages. The defendant says that you really didn't have an agreement to partner with her. She's got a counterclaim for damaging her property as a result of a bad makeover that you were doing. And I don't know what jeopardizing business means. I assume you'll take 2 minutes and explain it to me. Did you have a written contract with her?
Yes.
That's either a yes or no. Did you have a written contract with her? That's a simple question. They get harder.
Yes, but it wasn't signed.
Can I see it?
I don't have it. She had it.
You didn't make a copy?
I didn't get to get it because she started the argument right before it was printed, and we had talked to a lawyer and everything.
Well, then you didn't have a contract.
You could say that.
I can. I am. It was intended that the business be contractually, in writing, memorialized. Before that happened, you had an argument, so the contract was never memorialized. So what are you suing her for?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Heard. If she's not getting it right.
Just the property.
That's the wall and...
The wall.
I'm not interested in the wall. I asked you to circle what property.
Okay.
Take the rest out, or you're going out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Arna Kim-Yai says her former business partner, Mary Stallworth, dissolved their partnership in a salon without notice. Mary is countersuing for stolen and damaged property and punitive damages.
It was intended that the business be contractually, in writing, memorialized. Before that happened, you had an argument. So the contract was never memorialized, which means that you never had a contract. So what are you suing her for?
I'm suing her for the money that I believe she owes me for all the property and everything that I bought, all the expenses I spent.
Well, she doesn't owe you for any of your expenses because you didn't have a contract. She may owe you for property if you claim that she still has property and is wrongfully withholding your property that you purchased. What property do you claim?
Salon furniture I bought. Okay. I have a list and I have pictures.
Just a second. Salon furniture?
Correct.
I'd like to see photographs of it.
Okay. Some of these pictures are before and afters together, but you could basically see. Yeah, that's it. And I also have...
Just a second. Is what you're telling me you bought all these chairs?
No, that's the before. The pink is the after. So they're together.
Just a second. Look. Take a pencil. Make a circle around property that you bought.
Okay.
That you claim she still has.
Okay.
Bird, if she's not getting it right.
Just circle the property.
Yeah.
Just the property.
That's the wall and...
The wall. You purchased the wall.
I'm not interested in the wall. No, listen to me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I circled the property.
No. Listen to me carefully. I'm not interested in the expenses that you expended, like painting, like fixing floors, all in anticipation of signing a contract. I asked you to circle what property you purchased. Chair, sofa.
Yeah, I circled it.
Okay.
Take the rest out, or you're going out.
Yeah, that's just it.
That's the list of stuff.
Yeah, that's just what I paid for and stuff. I have more pictures, but...
Okay, 1, 2, how many chairs?
3.
Do you have her 3 chairs?
Yes.
She gets them back. 3 chairs. What else?
2 sofas.
I'd like to see the bills for the sofas.
Well, this is the hairdryer bill. This is...
No.
I don't have the,
Just a second. All I asked you for were the bills for the sofas.
I don't have it. I only have the text message.
Okay, she's going to give you back the 3 chairs anyway. She acknowledges she has them, and they're yours. What else?
I mean, she's used the chairs.
I don't care. You're getting the chairs back. What's next?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you take out stuff that was in there to put in the 3 chairs?
I didn't take it out physically, but so she hired somebody.
Changed my mind.
Look at this chair. Does it look like somebody would even want to sit on this chair anymore?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Arna Kim-Yai says her former business partner, Mary Stallworth, dissolved their partnership in a salon without notice. Mary is countersuing and punitive damages.
Okay, she's going to give you back the 3 chairs anyway. She acknowledges she has them, and they're yours. What else?
I mean, she's used the chairs.
I don't care. What's next?
I paid $1,000 for a dryer.
What kind of a dryer?
A dual dryer. It has a sofa attached to it.
What is a dry?
For your hair, to dry the hair.
I'd like to see the bill for it.
Let me circle it for you. Here we go.
I would just like to see where you spent $1,000. That's not a bill. That's a text.
I gave her cash.
Did she give you $1,000 in cash for a dryer?
No, she gave me $900.
Where's the dryer?
I did not order a dryer.
So what did you do with the $900?
I have the $900 still.
Good. She gets $900 and 3 chairs. What's next?
I had purchased a leather bar table and...
Do you have that?
No.
Next!
A refrigerator and a microwave.
Those in your shop?
Yes. I also gave her $500 rent.
Keep going.
Also a styling station. I circled it over there.
I don't care what you circled. I want a bill for it.
It's right here.
What is it?
I guess it got crossed out on the picture, but it...
3 chairs, a refrigerator, a microwave, and $900. That's on your side. You have a counterclaim for missing and damaged property. What's missing?
Everything out of my salon is missing.
What do you mean?
Me and Arna had an agreement to...
Just a second. You mean she replaced the stuff that was in your salon with this stuff?
It's not even completely replaced. I went from a 3-station salon to a 1-station salon.
What was taken out?
Stations, dryers, refrigerator, microwave, pictures, clocks.
Just a second. Did you replace a refrigerator with a new refrigerator?
Yes, ma'am. And a new microwave.
And a microwave. There were existing refrigerators and microwaves there.
I didn't throw it out.
What did you do with it?
She hired somebody to throw it out.
Did you take out stuff that was in there to put in the 3 chairs?
It was 2 styling stations, but yes. I didn't take it out physically, but so she hired somebody.
Changed my mind, $900. That's what you get. She gave you $900 for what?
She gave me $900 towards a dryer to replace the dryers that she had thrown out.
How many dryers did she throw out?
She threw out 2 dryers.
Was that with your consent?
No, it was not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Judy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
She gave you $900 for what?
She gave me $900 towards a dryer to replace the dryers that she had thrown out.
How many dryers did she throw out?
She threw out 2 dryers.
Was that with your consent?
No, it was not.
That's what our counterclaim is.
Right, and it's ridiculous. Do you see, does it look like this? Look at this chair. Does it look like somebody would even want to sit on this chair anymore?
We're done. Thank you. Business gone wrong. Should have had a contract. We're done. Thank you.
We had a contract, ma'am.
Thank you. No, you had no contract.
I'm 21 years old, and I started a business, and I trusted this lady.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
What could I say? It was perfect. She didn't have a contract. She came in my salon.
Well, her shop was falling apart, so I tried to help her out.
Thinking that she can come in here and turn it into her place of business, and she was wrong.
By expanding her clientele and actually help her, but...
She ran my stylist off. I mean, she's definitely made it my character. She's done a lot of stuff.
I'm just now 21, and this lady has a 21-year-old daughter.
So she's a fraud from the beginning.
And I bet she wouldn't want this done to her daughter.
I would not go into business with a young person that think they know more than you.
She was a newborn, and she needed to be bottle fed.
This lady had a little lamb.
I was receiving some heat from my husband.
But the lamb had to go.
The lamb was making a mess.
And after she gave it away...
I said, I just need you to love my lamb.
They had a farm, the right place for a lamb.
There's not one thing she knows.
Then you changed your mind.
I went back and said, I think I've made a bad mistake.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Paulette Sear is suing Megan and Kelly Heidner for the return of her lamb and for defamation of character.
Order. All rise. It's case number 205 on the calendar in the matter of Sear versus Heidner. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Ms. Sear, the facts of the case as they relate to legal appear to be relatively simple. You somehow adopted a very young lamb who had been rejected, according to you, by its mother. And you did that in April of this year?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have any other pets?
I do.
What kind of pets do you have?
I have. We found her on a Craigslist ad, and we picked her up in Wisconsin.
What were you doing looking for a lamb?
Well, it was a story that I'd like to share, but I'll try to condense it.
No, I don't want a long story. I don't want a long story. You got a lamb.
Yes.
Now, lamb, you know, is not a domesticated animal. Correct. They're supposed to be outside. Was it your plan to have this lamb outside?
Yes, big picture, it was my long-term plan, yes.
Big picture, long-term plan. What does that mean?
Well, she was a newborn, and she needed to be bottle-fed.
Well, that was for a while, but then it got to a point where she was no longer in need of being bottle-fed.
Correct.
Now, according to you, that formed a basis of contention. The husband was not happy with the lamb in the house.
Right.
The lamb was making a mess.
That's true.
And according to you, one evening, you didn't get up to let the lamb out, and the lamb messed up all over the house. Your husband had it. And you started to look to rehome the lamb. How old was the lamb at this point?
About 4 months, 4.5 months.
And you put an ad on what?
On Craigslist.
And they answered the ad?
They did respond to my ad, yes.
And you took the lamb to their home?
Yes.
On what date?
I think it was August 4th of this year.
And you gave it to them?
I would say I delivered her to them, yes.
No, you gave it to them because at the time, that was, according to you, you were selling the lamb for $150. You got, they have?
They have a beautiful farm, yes.
And they offered to give you the $150 for the lamb.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you said, I don't want the $150, I just want her to have a loving place.
I said, I just need you to love my lamb and care for her.
So you gave them the lamb. That's what the law says you did. You brought it to them, you left it with them, you gave it to them. You opted not to take money for it, but to give it to them because they had a farm, which is the right place for a lamb. Then you changed your mind. How much later did you change your mind?
Your Honor, I'm not sure I was convinced even in the moment.
I don't care. I don't care what you were convinced of. I'm telling you what the law is. What was in your heart, was in your mind, is irrelevant in the law. You gave them the lamb. My question to you is, how much time passed before you changed your mind?
So this was on Saturday, I brought them the lamb, and on Monday I had shared by text my heartache. On Tuesday I went back and said, I think I've made a bad mistake.
Okay, so they had the lamb Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You wrote to them and said, I want my gift back. That's what the law says. And they said to you, you can't have your gift back. Your lamb is in a good place.
No.
She said, you can have it back.
Your Honor, my proposed plan was I want to just propose an idea to you, and I would like it for my lamb while I prepared my home to get her a friend and get her a place that was properly set up so that I can bring her home to me. I'm heartbroken. And she said yes. She would not get into my way so long as I felt like that was the best decision for Ellie. And I said, okay. And so I started to prepare that evening, researching things that I thought would be a better space for Ellie. And I found some things like I wanted to build
I don't care. Okay. I don't care what you found. So that night you started to do research.
Right. And so the very next day I said, okay, I haven't had a chance to talk with my husband yet, but I think I know what I need. I'd like to come get her. And she said, okay, be here by 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. And so that next morning I received a text that was about 6:30 by Miss Heidner that she had a change of heart and she wanted to come look at my home to see that I was suitable. And I offered her to, you're welcome to come look at my home. And then she continued to tell me all kinds of other reasons why I wasn't suitable.
Okay, so your initial call to her after you changed your mind, which is not a legal thing, you can't change your mind unless she agrees, was to say to her, I'm going to try to talk to my husband, I haven't talked to him yet, about getting Ellie a playmate and making my house more suitable so that I could keep Ellie with a playmate. And you had begun to do research into that.
Right.
Hadn't done it yet. Then she said to you, according to you, I want to come and see your house. Thus far, I assume you had not gotten a playmate for her. You had not changed anything in your house from the way it was before. You had done research.
Your Honor, my home has a fenced yard. I live on a 2.5-acre property. I have a barn, not the one that I would prefer to have her sleep in. I have a sleeping space that's comfortable for her. The only thing that I was lacking was a playmate. And that is something certainly I've been researching for a period of time.
Okay, good. Okay, I heard you. Now, you have a farm.
Yes.
You have animals on this farm?
Yeah, we have 7 sheep and 9 goats. We have a 20-acre hobby farm. I actually have a video of our farm, just like a quick video so you can see how it's set up.
I'd like to see it. By the way, when she brought the lamb to your farm on Saturday, did she see the farm?
Oh, yeah. When we talked...
Just a second.
Yes.
She saw it?
Yes. So, yeah, I don't know if you want me to talk while it plays, but this is kind of from the driveway starting where our house, and then our property is surrounded by corn, and then that's just our house. There's more corn. A lot of it's mowable, but then our pastures back here in for them, and those are all our goats and stuff running in.
We own everything
past
from
that
tree line.
That back far tree line, and then this is it's actually meant for horses, but...
Is the lamb in question there?
Is right there.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if she had been running with the others. She had been. Okay, I saw enough.
She's a little slower than the other one.
She
Her
has
front
a
legs
janky leg, so she actually has a harder time. She'll actually fall if she runs too fast because she can't get the leg around properly with the herd, so she's always the last one to catch up.
How did that happen?
I don't know, Your Honor. I heard their argument that they think that I have falsely housed her, but I have evidence that she was in very good health and with the similar legs the day I bought her. I have a video here
Just
as well.
So the day you got her from Craigslist, there was something wrong with her leg?
Yes. I mean, apparently so. I have a video of her walking just the same day of that same nature. I didn't see that she would fall over ever in my care like that they described.
What I'm just asking you was, did I hear you right that when you got her,
yes,
there was something wrong with her leg?
Well, I didn't see it as something wrong with her leg. I don't see anything wrong with her leg. Her legs are slightly bowed.
Okay, fine. You can't make a gift and take it back. That's the long and short of the story.
Can I argue one point, please? That I was in a state of mind to make that kind of decision. I was very, very distraught. I was very unhappy. I was receiving some heat from my husband, and I just don't know that it was a decision that was made out of a clear state of mind when I asked her to care for my lamb. Yes, it is.
Not a psychiatrist?
No.
Okay. Let me tell you, if the defense that you have to making a gift, which you clearly made on Saturday when you brought them the lamb, is that you were suffering from some sort of mental disease or defect that is recognized, you need an expert witness to demonstrate that to me. You don't have that.
No.
You had a change of heart. Sometimes we call it buyer's remorse. When you buy something and you have a problem with it and then you want to give it back, and it's nothing more than buyer's remorse because, well, you changed your mind, but you bought it already. Bought it as is, no backsies, bridges closed, all over. You made a gift. You can't get the gift back. What I'm telling you is it should make you feel better that this lamb is at a very, very good place. Looks like a place where the lamb will be much happier. You may not be as happy, but the lamb will be happier, and that should make you feel good. As a pet owner, that should make you feel good, that a lamb is with other lambs where it should be. It's not a domesticated animal. People who take animals that are not domestic may be doing something nice for themselves, but they're not doing anything nice for the animal. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Your Honor, I still have other parties.
Step out.
We're done.
Well, I think that I really, truly was in a state of mind that I was devastated.
We're just trying to give Ellie the best home, and we love her deeply, too.
Felt like Ellie was mine to begin with.
And we don't want to separate her from our other herd because she has bonded with our other sheep. And
I know they're caring for her, and I know they love her, but she was good with me, too.
I just want her to be happy that Ellie is in a really loving, great home.
I'm just real sad, very sad.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Anderson versus DeMarco. Step forward.
Rideshare rental owner William Anderson is suing driver Cristiano DeMarco for unpaid rental car fees, vehicle damage, and an insurance refund.
I'm going to start with you, Mr. DeMarco. You drive an Uber. Is that how you earn your living?
Yes, I'm a rideshare driver, Your Honor.
That's all you do?
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
Since 2016.
So you know the drill.
Yes.
And you rented a car from the plaintiff.
Yes.
How long did you rent from Mr. Anderson?
About 2 months.
You said you've been in rideshare business since 2016. Did you own a car before that?
Yes, I did have 2 cars before that.
You owned?
These, and the car got repossessed.
Were they both repossessed?
Yes.
And they were both repossessed after you had used them for your business?
Yes.
Now, when you rented from Mr. Anderson, did you sign a contract with him?
No, we didn't have no contract, Your Honor.
That's a double negative. No, you didn't have any contract.
No, I did not have any contract.
Well, tell me how then you rented a car from him if you didn't have a contract.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't believe that that's how it happened, by the way. Understand me. I think he's slippery. So I don't believe that it happened the way he described this damage to the car to the police.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rideshare rental owner William Anderson says driver and former client Cristiano DeMarco owes for rental car fees, car damage, and an insurance refund.
Now, when you rented from Mr. Anderson, did you sign a contract with him?
No, we didn't have no contract, Your Honor.
That's a double negative. No, you didn't have any contract.
No, I did not have any contract.
Well, tell me how then you rented a car from him if you didn't have a contract?
It was a loose leaf agreement when we sat down and met.
What does that mean, a loose leaf agreement?
Basically, I gave him the money down and the...
I mean, unless you're not his uncle, are you?
No.
So you met. Did you meet at his office?
No, we actually met in Redmond Town Center, picked up the car, and then we drove to his buddy's insurance office, which was an Allstate office.
How much did you pay him down for the car?
It was roughly about $200.
Not roughly. I don't want to know roughly.
$171.
On what date?
April 6th.
How long did you keep the car?
2 months.
What was the monthly rental fee?
It was $55 a day.
$55 per day?
And it was $2 for the comprehensive insurance.
$2 in addition to the $55 a day. So that's $57
Correct.
a day. And you kept the car until June what?
June 23rd.
And when did you have an accident with the car?
It was actually May 24th.
Was a police report filed?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a picture of the damage to the car?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Mr. DeMarco, have you filed for bankruptcy in the last 24 months?
No, I'm actually planning on filing bankruptcy hopefully this year sometime.
I figured.
And I even let
I don't ask that.
I even let Mr. Anderson know that before I rented the car that I was about to file bankruptcy.
You say that as if you should be proud of it.
I'm not proud of it. I'm actually disappointed in it.
I mean, you had two
It's
cars.
actually very embarrassing,
both
Your Honor.
Both. Do you have anything, Mr. Anderson, that Mr. DeMarco signed that indicates that he was declining collision insurance on this rental car?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Then it's your responsibility. The damage is your responsibility. I don't believe that that's how it happened, by the way. Understand me. I think he's slippery. So I don't believe that it happened the way he described this damage to the car to the police.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you acknowledge that you owed him this money, why didn't you pay it?
I got it down to $175. He was out of town in Wyoming. I got a text message here. I said, hey, when you get back in town, I have 2 crisp $100 bills for you. He didn't want to take it. And I got a text message saying that right here.
I'd like to see it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Rideshare rental owner William Anderson says driver and former client Cristiano DeMarco owes for rental car fees, car damage, and an insurance refund.
Now, the damage is your responsibility. I don't believe that that's how it happened, by the way. Understand me. I think he's slippery. So I don't believe that it happened the way he described this damage to the car to the police, that somebody... Don't speak. That's what you just gave me. So I don't believe it. But it's your car, and you should have had complete insurance on it. So I'm not entertaining the damage to the car. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Next. Did he pay you for each day that he had the car?
No, he did not, Your Honor.
How many days didn't he pay you?
The total arrearage on his rent was $413.
You have proof that you made all of your payments to him?
Yes, I do. I have it through Venmo, and I never had any notification back from him that he had received these payments other than
No,
through
I'm just
Venmo.
asking you. He says that you owe him $413. That doesn't count any late fees or anything else. I'm just talking about $57 a day.
Yes, Your Honor, just...
So he didn't pay you for about 8 or 9 days.
That's correct. Your Honor, Cristiano and I did have settlement negotiations by text message.
Yes.
He did agree that he realized he owed $413
I'd like
in
to see
past due
that.
rent.
I'd like to see that.
Okay. I have them right here. I also told him at that time...
Let me just look at that. Okay, he did in fact acknowledge that he owed you the $413, and you said, okay, so $206 between now and the end of August.
That's correct.
Right, and he said, I'll send...
He sent $6.50 by Venmo to make it an even amount, I believe.
So $413 less $6.50.
Correct.
Okay. Now tell me about this insurance refund.
I paid the premium for his insurance policy. And at the time that he canceled his insurance, he texted me and told me there would be a $20 refund forthcoming. So I never saw the refund when I contacted the insurance company. I can't ask them specifically about his insurance, but I asked them in general how they handled a refund like that. And they said they would have sent it by check to the address on the policy.
Did you get an insurance refund, sir?
I never got the refund. I canceled it. They said they were going to put the money back on his card because he was paying it through his card, and I was paying him directly.
If you acknowledged that you owed him this money, Mr. DeMarco, why didn't you pay it?
I actually wanted to pay. I got it down to $175. He was out of town in Wyoming. I got a text message here that I just want to complete invoices and copies for my own records so I can submit for my tax purposes. He didn't want to give me any of those. I said, hey, when you get back in town, I have 2 crisp $100 bills for you. He didn't want to take it. Now here we are today.
I'd like to see...
And I got a text message saying that right here.
I'd like to see it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and...
You owed him this money. Mr. DeMarco, why didn't you pay it?
I actually wanted to pay. I got it down to $175. He was out of town in Wyoming. I got a text message here that I just want to complete invoices and copies for my own records so I can submit for my tax purposes. He didn't want to give me any of those. I said, hey, when you get back in town, I have 2 crisp $100 bills for you. He didn't want to take it. Now here we are today.
I'd like to see...
And I got a text message saying that right here.
I'd like to see it.
And in fact, the other thing that's heartbreaking about this is that we could have met, exchanged invoices, shook hands like gentlemen. This would never have came to this place.
All I know is you gave him back a damaged car with a baloney story.
Well,
you didn't pay him all the money that you should have. I'm going to be 76 years old. I've never had a car repossessed. You, in a relatively short time earning a living with cars, took cars, agreed to make payments, and had the cars repossessed after you earned a living. As a rideshare driver, you say that that's what you do. So shaking hands like a gentleman with you might be slippery. You owe him so far $406. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Well, I gave him 60 days in which to pay half of the settlement that I was asking.
At the end of the day,
he just kept ignoring and refusing to pay and ignoring and refusing to pay, and then...
I was barely making about $100 a day doing it, so all the money was going to the car, and I was barely making any money at the end of the day, but this is the rideshare game that gets played.
After the settlement deadline had elapsed, then he said, well, now I'm willing to pay you, and I said, I'm tired of it.
So at the end of the day, this is the situation. I'm the bad guy, he's the good guy, and that's heartbreaking because you know what? I'm actually the good guy.
This is part of what we've signed up for.
Who has the truck?
I do.
Because he stole the key.
I'm not going to give her the truck.
A fed-up ex puts his foot down.
I filed for a restraining order for harassment.
Tell me why.
Miss Smith was sending me derogatory and nasty emails.
Let me see them.
But will her persistence pay off?
So she said, I'm planning on taking you to Judge Judy for the truck. Let the entire country know what a dirtbag you are.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Christiana Smith is suing her ex-boyfriend, Robert Wilson, for unpaid rent, medical bills, the return of property, a false restraining order, and threats.
Order. All. It's case number 195 on the calendar in the matter of Smith versus Wilson.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Smith, I've read your complaint very carefully. It appears that you and Mr. Wilson were a couple. You moved with him from Oklahoma to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Correct.
And he promised you the moon, that he would take care of you, that he would provide you with health insurance, that you were going to remain a couple. And after you arrived in Las Vegas, the situation changed, so you left. Are you still in Las Vegas?
No, I went back to Oklahoma.
And it is your claim that you believe Mr. Wilson owes you for all the broken promises that he made, that he would provide you with insurance because you got sick, you went to the hospital, and now you have hospital bills, and that he kept some of your property, and for filing a false police report because he says that you were stalking him. So let's start out with the things that are simple. What month and year did you move from Oklahoma to Las Vegas?
June 2017.
And when did you move back back to Oklahoma?
July 2018.
And at what time did Mr. Wilson leave the apartment where you two were living together?
June 3rd.
Of 2018?
Correct.
And what items do you claim that he took from the apartment?
3rd, he removed my truck key.
A key to a truck?
My truck key.
Just a second. Who has the truck?
I do.
Because he stole the key.
And Your Honor?
And you have the key?
Yes, ma'am.
In whose name is the truck?
It is in both our names.
I'm the main signer.
He has the truck, he has the key. What else does he have that belongs to you?
A month later, he removed 2 motorcycle helmets, female motorcycle helmets.
And they belonged to you?
I'm female.
What?
I'm female, he's not.
No, that's not my question.
Yes.
I said, did they belong to you? Did
Yes,
you have a
they're mine.
motorcycle? Did you have a motorcycle?
We had a motorcycle.
The two of you?
No, ma'am.
Shh. Was it a motorcycle that the two of you rode together, one
Yes.
motorcycle?
Yes.
Who has the motorcycle?
I sold it in April.
You had it?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume, since it's not the subject of this, you owned it?
Yes, ma'am.
And you took the helmets that went with it?
Correct.
Do you have a motorcycle?
No.
What else are we here for?
Neither does he.
Key and 2 helmets. Forget it. Next.
He also removed a tent that I bought.
A tent?
A $100 tent out of our storage.
Next.
Rent for 1 month for the apartment we were staying in. Since he left, he had a key in our apartment.
What did you do with his belongings?
What could I do? I left them there.
Okay. Now, any property that you've just mentioned, the key to the truck that he has that's not before me, the motorcycle helmets that you have 0 use for because you have no motorcycle, a tent that cost $100, and now we're at rent. And you're not claiming that he was there, you're claiming his things were there. And you left in July, according to you, just left his things there when you left in July.
No,
he wasn't living there.
I was still there until basically I got evicted, and his name was on there too.
You got evicted? Just a second. Pay attention. You got evicted for what?
For non-payment of rent because I got really ill.
Just a second. So if you didn't pay rent, what are you asking for rent for?
I did pay rent for over a month.
Okay. Now, you have to tell me why you filed an order of protection against Miss Smith, because part of her lawsuit, the only part that's left here, is for filing a false restraining order against her.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want you to tell me why you filed a protective order against her and what happened to it.
I filed for a restraining order for harassment because Miss Smith was sending me all kinds of derogatory and nasty emails.
Let me see them. Mr. Wilson, while I'm taking a look at those, her name is on the loan.
Right now, I'm looking into refinancing it or possibly trading it in on another vehicle.
Well,
so she can be removed from it.
You've had the truck now since June.
Yes, ma'am.
June, July, August. We're now at the end of September. And if I were to call the finance company, would they tell me you're up to date in your payments?
Yes, ma'am.
Then there is no reason why you can't refinance this in your own name to get it out of her name. She should not have to have this on her head that you're driving around in a truck and she has to worry about you insuring it and making payments on it.
Correct.
Well, when are you going to do that, sir? Not looking into it. You've had 4 months to look into it.
Well, I've been working on rebuilding my credit. The reason why she was on there, and I also have a Facebook post where she acknowledges that she co-signed for me.
I don't care. I'm not.
And the dealership.
All I'm saying to you, sir, is that you've had 4 months to look into it.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have lousy credit, give her the truck.
I'm not going to give her the truck.
Listen to me carefully, sir. There is no reason for you not being together with her to put her credit in any jeopardy because how old are you?
53.
Well, if you're 53 and didn't have reasonable enough credit to buy a truck on your own, which is what you told me just now, because you needed her to co-sign for you so that you could get credit, why in the world would she want to rely on you to make payments on the truck? Because if you have less on time or at all, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when are you going to do that, sir?
As soon as I get home, I'll go to my bank and see about refinancing it.
Why haven't you done that in the last 4 months?
Last one, I just been too busy doing other things.
Like what?
Moving on with my life.
Ma'am?
Shh. Okay, so she said, I'm planning on taking you to Judge Judy for the truck. Let the entire country know what a dirtbag you are. Well, there you go. Okay. Now, Mr. Wilson, you wrote to her, I need to be taken off the paperwork over there.
Yes, ma'am, off the apartment.
Why would you want to be taken off the paperwork, sir?
So I would not be responsible for the
For the lease.
Well, we were living in an extended stay apartment. And they
just a sec. You understand why I'm laughing?
Yeah.
You understand why I'm laughing? You understand why they're all laughing? That you understand right away. You wanted to be taken off from the lease.
Yes, ma'am.
But not from a truck loan. That you didn't understand for 4 months because you were busy getting on with your life. And that's what she wrote to you that you claim formed the basis of your application for a protective order.
No, ma'am, I have more.
Okay. I'd like to see him because none of that impresses me.
I've got this social media post, and then also she...
Just a second, not an also. You know, I'm a slow learner. I can only do one thing at a time. Oh, so she posted this thing. You know, he hides money, check is always less than expected. He grows facial hair. He grows cold and distant. He stops wanting to do things together. These are helpful hints so you'll know when he wants to move on. The only thing here is receiving emails from friends that he is sending them new pictures with the offending picture enclosed in front of a full-length mirror.
He did.
What is that?
He did.
That's false.
That is not false. That
show
is
me.
true.
Show me.
That was
show me.
That was when we first started dating.
Just a second. So that's when you first started dating before you moved from Oklahoma to Nevada, and then you moved from Oklahoma to Nevada with him.
It was a lady from North Carolina.
Next. What's
and then,
next?
After she moved to Oklahoma...
Just a second. All I want to know is, what was the next reason? So far, I'm unimpressed with any of these.
For the restraining order?
Correct.
When she moved back to Oklahoma, she has a rideshare rental car, and she has to bring it back to Vegas every so often to have it inspected. She would drive through my apartment complex and stalk me, take pictures of my truck saying, oh, yeah, you still live here, and things like that.
Show me. This is a burden.
I don't think I brought that with me, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's your burden. And I assume that the application for a protective order was denied.
Yes, it was.
Of course it was denied. How do I know that? Do you think that I'm a soothsayer? Miss Smith, what I'm going to do is, I believe that he had no right to file a protective order based upon this stuff that he showed me, which is really the two of you fighting over the payments he made on the truck. He wants to be off the lease, but he doesn't see the equation between your name being on a truck loan, and you have good credit, and his name being on a lease, and he's got lousy credit. So he doesn't... It's something that wasn't registering to him. And I think that the filing of the restraining order based upon this nonsense was absolutely outrageous. I'm awarding you $500 for filing a false restraining order. We're done. We're done.
May I say one more thing? He literally left me dying on the bathroom floor.
We're done. Listen to me.
Okay.
You're sick. He's not responsible for your sickness.
He promised me insurance and marriage.
We're done.
Why is that excuse? May step out.
This guy basically lied to me financially.
Miss Smith is a woman scorned.
Emotionally and physically ruined me.
And what's funny is...
And...
leave in and all that.
Don't take people's word. Don't trust them. Don't believe them.
She's engaged to the guy she's living with now that she keeps running back to in Oklahoma.
I hope I never hear or see from him again.
You know, I've been down. I've been over it. I moved on. I'm much happier now.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Garceau versus Marrero Buckley. Step forward.
Michelle Garceau is suing the father of her child, Brian Buckley, and his girlfriend, Lisa Marrero, for unpaid credit card charges.
Miss Garceau, you and Mr. Buckley have a child together.
That's correct.
How old is that child?
He's 6 years old.
And who does he live with?
He lives with me.
Has he always lived with you?
Yes.
Okay. And this is your current girlfriend?
Yes.
There came a time, Miss Garceau, when I gather you and your son did not have a place to live.
That's incorrect.
Tell me why you moved in with Miss Marrero and Mr. Buckley.
I've never lived with either one of the defendants.
Did you ever stay with them?
I stayed there on Christmas Day and the following day for 2 nights because I was sick for a week prior. So he was helping out with our son, and Miss Marrero is a nurse, so she was making sure I was okay.
But you had your own residence?
Yes, I have my own home in Torrington.
Okay. Is it your claim that the plaintiff lived with you?
Correct.
From when to when?
By the man she was living with. She needed a place to stay. Received that call after Thanksgiving, so after Thanksgiving until roughly beginning of February.
And that doesn't sound remotely familiar to you?
It's not correct at all, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
want you to tell me how they got possession of your credit card.
Lisa expressed that she was having financial issues.
That's not true.
Don't answer her. When you use somebody else's money, don't interfere with them when they're telling the story.
I can tell you what it's for them.
I don't care what it's for. Why are you using somebody else's money?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michelle Garceau says the father of her child, Brian Buckley, and his girlfriend, Lisa Marrero, owe for charges they made on her credit card.
Now, is it your claim that the plaintiff lived with you?
Correct. She actually called, had been assaulted by the man she was living with. She needed a place to stay.
And that doesn't sound remotely familiar to you?
It's not correct at all, Your Honor.
Okay.
During the month of December, I was okay up until about 4 days before Christmas when I became ill and I was in and out of the hospital for about 4 days. Christmas Day came, I was home in my own home with my family. A friend had called my son's father to come and pick me up and my son up because he had to go to work.
I want you to tell me how they got possession of your credit card.
Okay, so in December, before Christmas, the defendant and I actually became very close.
Me, Miss Marrero?
Yes, and we just had a pretty good family dynamic going on. And she expressed to me that she was having financial trouble and that she was having...
Do you work?
No, unfortunately I had a back
So the answer is you don't work?
Correct.
Do you have children?
I do.
How many?
I have two, one that lives with me, she's 26.
So you have no minor children?
No, but Brian's daughter lives with us. She's 7.
You have custody of one child?
Yes.
From what relationship?
Relationship with another woman.
Were you working during Christmas?
No, I was not.
Why not?
I was looking for work, in the middle of looking for work.
How was your family supporting itself?
My girlfriend was helping me out, and
how was she helping you out? She wasn't working.
She was.
I have an income. I have a
she has an
fixed
income. She has a fixed income.
Because I'm disabled.
So you get disability?
Correct. And workers' comp.
How much do you get?
About $3,000 a month.
How long have you been getting the $3,000 a month?
The disability started 2 years ago, and workers' comp was 3 years ago.
Okay, keep going.
Your Honor, it was her claim to me that she brings in 7. Getting back to the credit card, Lisa expressed that she was having financial issues and she was upset that she wasn't going to be able to purchase Christmas gifts for the kids. So we had a good relationship. I agreed to let her use one of my credit cards that had a 0 balance. There was a $5,500 limit on the card. She was supposed to use it for Christmas gifts exclusively, okay?
That's not true.
Don't answer her. When you use somebody else's money, don't interfere with them when they're telling the story.
I can tell you what it's for them when you're ready.
I don't care what it's for. Why are you using somebody else's money?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to see any text message that suggests that this credit card bill that you racked up on her credit card was in lieu of rent. Say nothing, show me the text. Say nothing, show me the text.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Michelle Garceau says the father of her child, Brian Buckley, and his girlfriend, Lisa Marrero, owe for charges they made on her credit card.
Now, when you use somebody else's money, don't interfere with them when they're telling the story.
I can tell you what it's for them when you're ready.
I don't care what it's for. Why are you using somebody else's money?
Why? Because she was staying with us. And that's what I'm saying. She said she was sick. She wasn't sick. She happened. So she lived with me for 2 months. This is what she gave us in lieu of rent.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me because you racked up on the credit card that she gave you over $5,000, and now you say she lived with you for 2 months. Is what you're telling me she couldn't have found another place to live for less than $2,500 a month?
That is correct. Nobody else would have her.
What? For less
Nobody else would have her.
No, for less than $2,500 a month?
Yes.
You're outrageous.
I'm just telling you. That's what you asked, and it wasn't.
Who takes care of the 7-year-old?
We both do. We both do.
Don't you work? Ever?
Yes, I do.
Just a second. How long have you been a couple?
2.5 years.
So Miss Marrero was working when you met?
No, she wasn't. She had just been injured about a few months prior.
And your daughter was then 5?
Yes.
Now she's 7?
Yes.
And you both took care of her?
Yes.
That's pretty active. What's the nature of the disability for which you get disability?
I permanently injured my back while nursing.
Your back? You drive a car? Do you have a driver's license?
I have a driver's license. Yes, I do. I do.
I'm just asking you questions. You have a driver's license?
I do.
Okay. Can I see the credit card bills?
It's December.
Okay. Now, what I'd like to see from you is you have what appear to be text messages there?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
I would like to see any text messages that you have that suggest to me that this $5,416 that you racked up on her credit card was in lieu of rent. Let me repeat again. I want to see any text message that you have from her that suggests that this credit card bill that you racked up on her credit card was, as Ms. Marrero says, in lieu of rent. Say nothing, show me the text. Say nothing, show me the text.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I want to see any text message that you have from her that suggests that this credit card bill that you racked up on her credit card was, as Ms. Marrero says, in lieu of rent. Say nothing, show me the text. Say nothing, show me the text.
I have no text.
You have a lot of things in front of you.
I absolutely do.
Show me one of those things. That credit card was to be used in lieu of rent. Show me. Don't say anything. Hand it to Officer Byrd.
I have nothing that says it was an agreement in lieu of rent. This whole thing was based off of a verbal agreement.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're done.
Perfect. Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I believe that if somebody borrows money from you, they should pay it back.
She did live with us. She needed a place to go.
It's completely incorrect. They were just looking for an excuse to not pay the money that they owed.
She was not working, and so in order for...
I never lived with them, so I didn't need to pay rent. I paid my own rent.
To be compensated, she let us use the credit card in lieu of rent.
Other than that, I have nothing to say to the other defendant.
Find your own life.
You moved in as 3 people. You broke up, he left, the 2 of you were in the apartment.
A girlfriend thought she was rid of her ex.
You, sir, allowed Jarrell back into the apartment because he was your friend.
Now she wants to call it quits with her roommate.
She wanted to move out. She was uncomfortable with him.
It wasn't only because I just only felt uncomfortable. He was, like, harassing me.
Who was?
Jarrell.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
24-year-old Jamal Wren is suing his ex-roommate, Jacqueline Ying, for breaching their lease, late fees, and damages.
Order. All rise. This is case number 252 on the calendar in the matter of Wren versus Ying.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Wren, the defendant used to date your best friend. You dated his best friend, whose name is?
Jarrell.
Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
But you and the plaintiff were friends.
Yes.
Friends enough so that you rented an apartment together.
Yes.
Just the 2 of you were on the lease.
Correct.
Jarrell wasn't on the lease because he didn't have a job yet. But the plan was for the 3 of you to live together. Was this a 2-bedroom apartment?
Yes.
You moved in month and year.
We moved in the beginning of October.
October 14th.
Of last year?
Yes.
And you moved out 4 months prior to the termination of the lease.
Correct.
You moved out, according to what I read, you and Jarrell had an argument, broke up. You stayed in the apartment because your name is on the lease. He left, correct?
Correct.
What month and year was that?
February 24th.
But what it looks like happened, you broke up, he left, the 2 of you were in the apartment, you were both on the lease, and that's the way it was going to remain until, according to you, sir, allowed Jarrell back into the apartment because he was your friend.
Can I comment on that?
Yes, I want you to.
Well, he actually had a key.
Okay, he had a key and he let himself into the apartment.
Right.
He wasn't paying rent.
Right.
But the defendant told you she didn't like him in the apartment.
Well, she gave him the key. I never
But that
gave
was
him the key.
before.
But I kept asking
that
for
was
it back.
That was before they had a fight on February 24th.
Right.
Right. Then she didn't want him in the apartment anymore.
She never expressed that to me.
Never?
Not at that time.
No. At what time did she express it to you?
Not until she was talking about moving out.
Well, tell me what month that was.
When she first brought it up, it was around May, June-ish.
May. And at that time, she had a new boyfriend?
Yes.
And Jarrell was still coming into the house?
Yes.
And she said to you, I feel uncomfortable about this.
No.
Well, what did she say to you in May?
Well, she just kind of said she wanted to move out. She was uncomfortable with him, you know.
Well, that's what I'm asking you, about her being uncomfortable with him in the house.
Right.
Of course, what this is about is you want the last 4 months' rent that she didn't pay because she moved out. She says she moved out because you made it uncomfortable by allowing her
the locks.
Well, it wasn't only because I just only felt uncomfortable. He was like harassing me.
Who was?
Jarrell was harassing me.
Who was?
Over text messages, and he was mad because I had a new boyfriend.
What does that have to do with him?
Well, I mean,
what does that have to do with him? The three of you moved into an apartment together. You were responsible for, according to the lease, half the rent on the lease. He didn't have a fight with your boyfriend. You had a fight with your boyfriend.
But he was making it seem like he was being he was controlling the house.
Did you say to him, look, Jarrell is your friend. I can't tell you not to have Jarrell as a friend. I will stay in the apartment because I caused this trouble. I broke up with my boyfriend.
I was trying to stay in the apartment.
No, I will stay in the apartment alone, without you. I will find another roommate, or not for the next 4 months. I will change the locks to preclude him from coming in because he's not on the lease, and I will enforce that. Did you give him that option of you staying and him moving out?
I tried to get off the lease.
No, that's not what I'm saying to you. Not for you to get off the lease. What you're not following my saying to you is you and your boyfriend caused this problem for him. Yeah. You and you together. He's obligated on a lease. You two have a fight. He gets stuck paying the rent. So what I'm saying to you is you can listen. You're not having your listening ears on. Your mother?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're not having your listening ears on, and you don't talk to me from there. What I'm saying to you is, did you offer him the opportunity, the plaintiff, and say to him, Jarrell is your friend, you want him to come to your apartment, I'm not comfortable with that, so you're not following me because you're using this instead of this. I will stay in the apartment and assume the whole rent. You move out into another apartment, and you can have Jarrell come and stay with you, come over and visit you Saturday night, come and watch football on Sunday if he's not living with you. Did you offer him that opportunity? You told me you tried to get off the lease. It's not a question of you getting off the lease. You two caused the problem for him.
I did tell him, I told him that I wanted to change the locks because I didn't want him to be coming into the house
Just a second. You can't tell him who can come into the house. Into his house, where he pays half the rent. You can say to him, I will stay, and this is very uncomfortable for me, and I will stay in the apartment. You find another apartment and have Jarrell come and see you as often as you like. I will stay here. Not you leave, you stay and pay the rent.
Signed the lease together. They have to have a matching financial...
Well, then you discuss it with your mother.
No.
And say to your mother, will you co-sign for me for the next 4 months? Because I want to live here alone. I don't want to live with Jarrell. He didn't have anything to do with you breaking up with your boyfriend. Nothing.
I told him that I wanted to get off the lease.
Well, yeah, that's not what I'm saying to you. Not you getting off the lease. You staying on the lease, staying in the apartment. He moves out and takes Jarrell with him.
I had a restraining order on him, and he was harassing me, and he was just like...
Did you have a hearing on a restraining order? Did you have a hearing on a restraining order against Jarrell? Is the answer yes or no? The answer is no. So you get an ex parte restraining order when he wasn't present. Do you have a hearing date for it, or did you just not show up?
I didn't show up.
Well, that's the answer. Then I'm not interested in it. What I'm telling you is he's entitled to his 4 months' rent. Did you move out 4 months early?
Yes.
What? What?
Can I stand up?
Sure.
Okay, just make sure I'm doing it right. Jacqueline has evidence from management that... Yeah, show it.
No. Don't show me anything. She has evidence from management showing that
Jackie did, on multiple occasions, go to the office and ask to have meetings to get her off the lease. That's how it worked.
Your daughter and her boyfriend had a fight.
Correct.
They all moved in together. That's not the plaintiff's fault. What your daughter wanted to do was to get out of the lease because they were still friends and he was coming over. And it made her uncomfortable. And what I said to your daughter, which you weren't listening or processing, was it's not his fault that they had a fight. If your daughter was uncomfortable with the two of them because they were friends, then your daughter should have said to him, I will stay and assume the rent for this apartment for the next 4 months. You move out. I can't get off the lease, but I will obligate myself to pay the whole rent if I can't get another roommate. I'm not going to move.
Well, what if Jamal doesn't want to move out then? And
just a second. I asked her one question. I said, did you offer him that opportunity? Now, if she had offered him that opportunity and said, listen, I will assume the rent. It didn't work out as we planned. And it didn't work out not because of anything you did, but because of something I did and because of something he did. So I will stay and bite the bullet on this because he wasn't on the lease. You move out. If he said, no, I want to stay, then I'd have a little more sympathy with her. But what she's doing is she was the cause of the problem and she wants to stick him with the 4 months rent. And that's untenable. She can't say to somebody who's paying half the rent in the apartment, this is who I'm not comfortable having in the apartment. He's not 12. He's not living under his mother's. He's paying half the rent and the utilities. She can't say to him, I'm uncomfortable.
Your Honor, I've tried multiple times to reach out to management, and management was trying to reach out to Jamal, trying to get me off.
Listen to me. Lease. You keep saying get you off the lease. I'm saying you stay on the lease. He gets off the lease.
But
aren't you listening to me? I mean, you said it 20 times, and I'm trying. And your mother said the same thing. I'm not interested in you getting off the lease. I'm interested in him getting off the lease and you getting stuck with the lease for 4 months. Just like you wanted to stick him for the rent for 4 months, the whole rent. It's not his fault. You broke up with your boyfriend. Ugh, what was her share of the rent for 4 months?
So basically, the rent was...
I don't want to hear basically. Basically is a filler word. I would like to hear what her half of the rent was.
Well, basically... excuse me. I was paying $600.
How much was she paying? She?
What was left over. And I say that because they'd be paid late a lot of times, so I'm not exactly sure
what was she supposed to pay.
It was like
$400.
Yeah, basically about $400.
Not basically, not like. How much was your rent?
$400.
The full rent?
And that was the plan. 3 people were going to be on the lease when he got a job. I don't know whether he ever got a job. So your piece of the rent was $400?
$400.
That's $1,600. You have a counterclaim that's ridiculous for emotional distress because he let Jamal into his apartment. It's dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. We're done. We're done.
Parties are excused when they step out.
I never had a problem until she wanted to move out.
He wasn't working with me. Like, he wasn't trying to get me off the lease.
It wasn't an uncomfortable thing until she made it uncomfortable.
Because he was being, like, harassing me and just, like, threatening me all the time.
Living on my own.
Yeah, I just want to be left alone. I didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore.
Better off that way, like my grandpa showed me.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Davis versus Welch. Step forward.
Angel Davis is suing her son, Carathis Welch, and his ex-wife, Vanessa, for a loan to pay off credit card debt.
Miss Davis, this young man is your son, and the lady with him is his ex-wife. Are you currently divorced? It is your claim that you made a loan to your son sometime after the initiation of divorce proceedings when he was going through some financial difficulty, and the loan was... You never had a discussion with your former daughter-in-law about it, but it is your claim that since she also incurred those credit card debts, she should be responsible for this loan. Correct? Right. Well, she's not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't care what your impression was. She says that the $2,800 she gave you for a lawyer she gave you.
Right.
She says that months later she gave you another $4,800. Did she?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Angel Davis says her son, Carathis Welch, and ex-wife Vanessa owe for a loan to pay off their credit card debt.
I want you to tell me in what month and year you allege that your son asked you for money.
The first time he asked me, he retained a lawyer, and I gave him that money. He's my only child.
When? Month and year?
That was in March.
Of last year?
Of 2017.
And how much did you give him?
$2,800.
And was that the first time you had given him any money?
Other than small loans, that was substantial.
You have children together?
Yes.
How many?
One.
How old?
3 years. Well, she's
She'll be four.
4 tomorrow.
You share custody?
Yes.
And is that working out okay? March of 2017. When was the next time your son asked you for money? Because that, you say you gave him.
In May, he asked for a loan.
In May, after he had retained a lawyer?
Correct.
Tell me where you were when he asked you for a loan.
I was at home and he called me.
Tell me what the conversation was.
He called and said, Mom, I don't know how I did it. I didn't make my house payment. I can't make it this month if you can loan me some money.
And how much was his house payment?
His house payment, I believe, is almost $1,000.
Well, how much money did you loan him?
$689.
Where did you get that figure from?
I saw it on the check. I didn't even remember until I was looking for the information for the case. The amount, I didn't remember. I just knew it was the first loan.
Just a second. So you gave him $689?
Correct.
To make a house payment?
It was toward his house payment. He was short.
And when was the next time?
Approximately 2 weeks later, he called me and asked, he said, Mom, I can't pay these bills. I'm behind. It's stressing me out. Commuting for the baby, work. I need some help. So he came over, asked for some money. He called, asked for the money. I loaned him $4,800 to pay his credit card so he wouldn't have that monthly.
And you did that by check?
Yes, I did.
Made payable to him?
Yes, I did.
And that was in what month?
That was in June, but if I can say something, Your Honor, check, I wrote the wrong month on it. But I do have the bank statements to show that it was the same time I wrote the check, in June.
What date does it have on it?
April 2017.
I'm ready.
I did go to my mom and asked her for help. She did help me with the attorney, but I asked her for help. It wasn't, I wasn't under the impression I was going to be paying her back.
Well, that's the $2,800. She says that
Yes.
Not doing it for me.
Okay.
You know that.
I know.
Good. I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know.
I wasn't under the impression that I was paying her back.
I don't care what your impression was. She says that the $2,800 she gave you for a lawyer, she gave you.
Right.
She says that months later, she gave you another $4,800. Did she?
Yes.
When?
I believe that was in June.
In what month did you and your wife separate?
In March of 2017.
And this check was written out in April.
The original, it wasn't written. I just put the wrong date.
Now I'd like to see that.
Okay.
You can sit down. You have nothing to do with this case. To me is the same day that you wrote a check out, or the check was cashed on June 19th. You transferred $4,500 from your savings account into your checking account.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. I think I was traumatized from writing the check. I put the wrong month.
You also wrote the wrong amount in the...
Yes.
How many children do you have, Miss Davis?
That's my only child.
Do you see your grandchild?
I do see my grandchild.
It's a girl?
It's a girl, yes it is.
You see her when she's both with her mother and her father?
Now I do, both. I don't see him as much as I do the wife.
So my question is, before you started a proceeding against your son, what efforts did you make to try to resolve this family situation?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So what did you do?
I called Judge Judy show because I was watching it.
Why'd you call me instead of going to small claims court?
I was watching TV and I said, I'm going to file a case.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Angel Davis says her son, Carathis Welch, and ex-wife Vanessa owe for a loan to pay off their credit card debt.
What efforts did you make to try to resolve this family situation?
I had the loan because in January, when he got his income tax, he said, Mom, I'm going to give you something. I said, okay, whatever he gives me, I'm good. And he didn't.
We're getting a little muddy here.
It is.
No, look, we're getting a little muddy here. I'm going to tell you why. You wrote this check out, according to you, in June.
Correct.
And he was supposed to pay you from his tax returns?
Yes, there was going to be a delay I knew, in getting the payment.
So he wrote this in June of 2017. And you were expecting payment in, let's say, January or February of 2018.
Just payment, correct. Some payments, money.
Well, when you didn't get any payment in January, February, or March of 2018, tell me about the conversations that you had with your son.
I talked to my son. I said, it's bothering me that you haven't paid me. He said, I'm going to start paying you, Mom. If you give me your account number, I'll start where it'll come straight to your account. I said, I'm not doing that, but you can write me a check, just like I wrote you a check, and start paying me. He said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it, Mom. So I said, okay. Then a couple months later, still nothing. And then in September, when I said I asked my son for money again, I said, it's bothering me that you haven't paid me, and I need you
Anything?
Well, no, he gave me, I got $100 from him, and that was it. He said, I'm not paying you now. Everything's good now. And he didn't. And that's when I was watching TV, and I said, I'm going to file a case.
So what did you do?
I called Judge Judy show because I was watching it.
Why'd you call me instead of going to small claims court?
Well, it said, you can do it. I said, let me try this first. And then I filed the case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to JudgeJudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
I think you should go to your local small claims court.
I
think that that's what you should do if you want to sue your son. I think that you should go to small claims court. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
We're done. Thank you.
All right, no excuse. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's over a year, and there's been no good faith in paying me.
I tried to make a payment pen, but
He said, Mom, I'm going to start giving you $100 a month.
I'm a single dad, so
I didn't get that $100.
I'm working on it.
I love my son. That's my only child.
She's my mom, and I love her.
Love him to death.
I hope that we can
It's time for me to get paid.
square things away and move forward.
Oh, I'm going to get my money.
A couple months ago. That is a lie, Your Honor.
You don't know that. Not only did he go to prison for assaulting you, but he married somebody else with whom he has 3 children, including a 5-month-old baby. What were you doing back with him?
I was deeply in love with him. I know it sounds crazy, but...
You were madly in love with what?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Dorothea Lockhart is suing her husband's ex-girlfriend, Dalquisha Taylor, for vandalizing her vehicle.
Order. All rise. It's case number 194 on the calendar, the matter of Lockhart versus Taylor.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Oh, my God, this case is so fascinating. Miss Lockhart, the defendant is your husband's former girlfriend.
Ex.
What?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. That's his ex-girlfriend.
I said,
right,
the defendant is your husband's ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
You and your husband have been married for how many years?
A year.
Are you the husband?
Yes.
How long
ago? That is a lie, Your Honor.
Just a second. You don't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have children together?
3.
How old are they?
5 months, 7, and 10, 11.
Do you have any children together?
No, ma'am.
Now, it is your claim, Miss Lockhart, that Miss Taylor vandalized your car.
Yes.
It is Miss Taylor's assertion that she did not vandalize your car, but on the same day that your car was vandalized, you assaulted her.
Yes. I didn't assault her. I have my police report.
That's what the case is about. I'm just outlining what the case is about. Where were you when all this was going on?
I wasn't there.
Where were you?
I wasn't there when it happened.
Where were you?
I was at home.
Louder!
I was at the house asleep.
Which house? Whose
My
house?
house.
My cousin's house.
The house that you live in with her or somebody else's house?
Somebody else's house.
So you don't live with her and your 3 children?
Yes, I went there at the time, though.
Well, I want to know where you were living.
I was living there, but I went there at the time.
Well, this happened late at night with her car.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
What were you doing at your cousin's house?
I just was at my cousin's house. I wasn't at home at the time.
What time did this happen?
I woke up at maybe 8 to go to work. The car was messed up.
So you didn't see it happen?
No.
So it happened during the night?
Yes.
Was he sleeping next to you during the night?
Yes.
What time did you get home from your cousins?
Midnight.
Oh. I really don't recall the time.
Just a second. You understand where we're going?
No, I know what time he came in. He don't remember.
I don't recall the time.
When you came home, was the car messed up?
Yes, it was messed up.
It had already been messed up?
Yeah.
Not yet. Yes.
Yes.
And you got home, according to your wife, at midnight?
Yes.
So it was messed up sometime before midnight?
Yes.
And that was on July 5th?
Yes.
Now, when do you claim she assaulted you?
July 5th.
Where?
At his cousin's house.
At his cousin's house where he was?
Yes.
What's his cousin's name?
Dominique.
So he was at his cousin's house. Were you at his cousin's house?
Yes.
With him?
Yes.
Now, just to add a little more complexity to this situation, had you had him arrested previously for domestic violence?
Yes.
How many years ago?
2014.
And he went to prison?
Yes.
For how long?
3 years.
So my question to you is, what were you doing back with him? You just told me that you would prison for assaulting you. That must have been a very serious assault. What are you doing back with him?
I was deeply in love with him because I met him around the time I lost my mom. So I know it sounds crazy, but...
Well, not only did he go to prison for assaulting you, but he married somebody else.
Exactly.
In the interim, with whom he has 3 children, including a 5-month-old baby. You were madly in love with what?
Right.
You getting all this? So if I had to guess about this alleged assault that happened to you at Dominique's house happened earlier in the day than her car was vandalized. So why don't you tell me about that?
Okay, it happened around 3 o'clock in the morning.
On July 4th?
On July 5th. I ended up bumping into them at the mall July 4th, and he was texting me, asking me to come over. We was stopped talking at the time, but we ended up seeing each other at the mall, so he wanted me to come over.
You saw each other at the mall. Was he alone?
No, he was with her.
So he was with her. Well, how did he manage to get you this message that he wanted you to come over?
Texting me while he with her.
Texted you to come over to Dominique's house?
Yes. I supposed to met him at the park earlier because him and his family went to the park earlier that day, but I was still with my family.
Don't speak to her.
Okay.
So he's with her, with his 3 children. They're at the mall.
The children went there.
Just the 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And my sister and brother and mom was with me.
And he texted you to come over to Dominique's house later?
Yes.
And you went?
Yes.
Okay. Pick it up from there.
So they dropped me off there around like 12 o'clock in the morning, and me and him was drinking or whatever. Then we ended up going to the basement where they got a studio down there, and we was talking or whatever. And I was sitting on his lap facing him, and next thing I know, she came from behind and just hit me with the gun. So we get to fighting and tussling over the gun. Somehow her finger must have got jammed in the gun or something. And then he ended up breaking it up, taking me upstairs. So in the midst of him taking me upstairs, washing my head to get the blood or whatever, she was in the basement. She took my Social Security card, my cell phone, my teeth, my money, and stepped on my purse and broke the clutch. So I had to throw that away. And then she ended up leaving.
Could I have the police report? How old is Dominique?
32.
I also have pictures, too.
Well, you went to the police a day later, and you told the police that you were sleeping.
I didn't say that.
That's what it says here.
Okay.
Why didn't you say he was there?
I didn't want him to get in trouble because we have a no contact. We don't even supposed to be around each other.
Now, what proof do you have that she vandalized your car? I'm dismissing your counterclaim.
Yeah,
listen, you want to continue to be stupid and hang around him? It's your issue.
All that was lies anyway, but...
Just a second. All I asked you is, do you have any proof that
yes,
she
I do, Your
vandalized your
Honor.
car? Let me see it.
I have an audio play, and then I have a witness of her calling his phone.
Who? Who's your witness?
Arvell. My husband. Yes.
Give me something that I'm going to believe. Now, you have a confession on a machine?
Yes.
I'd like to hear it. What does that say?
Right.
Could you hear that? No.
She's saying she didn't her up to the 6th. I went to the police station on the 5th.
That don't sound like me.
Just a second. Could you hear it, Bird? Would you go over there and listen to it? I can't hear it.
You gotta keep playing.
That's not even.
That's her.
Listen, you want to continue having these convoluted relationships, you do that.
So you can't
I'm
hear
done
it?
with it.
Just listen to me very carefully. I'm not even going to bother to ask you whether you went to the basement because your husband was there with his old girlfriend who been put in prison for assaulting her. I'm not even going to ask you that question because, quite frankly, I don't care. If 3 adults who've made 3 children together and continue, despite the fact that he was involved with another woman, you have a child together with him who is 11 years old and one who's 7, which means they were older children when he was involved with her. She put him in prison. Your children were without a father. Then you made another baby with him. Then he went back to her. Doesn't that strike you as something's wrong with you? Your case is dismissed. I'm done with this whole sort of mess.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She keyed it and put sugar in it and...
I didn't do nothing to her car. I don't know who did it.
Flattened the tires and stuff.
I think she did it herself.
Then she's gonna leave me alone.
Because she's trying to get me in trouble where either I'm locked up or she could kill me. I'm done with everything, so...
Just time to move forward.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Solis versus Hernandez. Step forward.
Michael Solis is suing fellow tow truck driver Camarino Hernandez for medical expenses, lost wages, and punitive damages after Camarino injured him on the job.
Mr. Solis, you and Mr. Hernandez are tow truck operators, and it is your claim that Mr. Hernandez is responsible for your injured arm.
That's correct.
That happened on what date?
That was on July 14th of this year.
Now, do you own your own tow truck?
I do not.
Do you own your own tow truck?
I do not.
Who do you work for?
We work for a company in Chicago called M&J Towing.
Do you work on salary and commission, or just commission for the number of jobs that you
We work
do?
on commission for the number of jobs we do.
No. Listen to me carefully.
Yes, ma'am.
You work for M&J Trucking.
Correct.
M&J Trucking sends you a paycheck.
We're paid cash for the number of jobs we do, based off of how many jobs we do.
Who pays you the cash?
The managers of the business.
We're going to get into the business, sir.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I'm getting into.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He pulled his vehicle in so close to mine, his boom action forward, as the doctors described, nearly ripping it off.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Solis says fellow tow truck driver Camarino Hernandez severely injured him at work.
M&J Trucking sends you a paycheck.
We're paid cash for the number of jobs we do.
Who pays you the cash?
The managers of the business.
We're going to get into the business, sir.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I'm getting into the business.
Okay.
You pick up your trucks from where?
The tow lot, where they're kept at.
The address of the tow lot.
I'm not sure the exact address by number, but it's right in the vicinity of 49th Street and Halsted.
How many tow trucks does M&J have at that location?
Between them breaking down and whatnot, I'd say 5 and 10 running.
And how long have you been working for them?
Well, I was relatively new to the company, so about a month and a half.
And how long have you been working for M&J?
For about 6 months.
How often are you paid, Mr. Hernandez?
At least once a week.
Are you paid at the location?
Yes.
The name of the person who pays you?
I'm not sure if it's Freddie or Frederico. We call him Fred.
Now, how is it that Fred gives you money? What do you have to show to Fred in order for him to give?
Totals.
And how do you generate those receipts?
We save them in our binders, and we drop them off to him.
So it's a business.
Yes,
And you work full-time.
full-time.
Does M&J have workman's compensation insurance?
I'm honestly not sure of that. I would imagine they would, but I couldn't say that in certainty, to be honest.
Well, when you were injured on July 14th,
That's
did you
right.
report the injury to M&J?
I did.
To whom at M&J did you report the injury?
To that manager, Fred.
And it's clear that with one arm, it's very hard for you to tow cars.
That's right.
Did you not ask him about how you were supposed to work?
I did, and you know, he told me right away that, you know, because the company as a whole, we've known the guy Fred for quite some time, personally, outside of work. So he asked me right away not to make it like a big insurance fight and lawsuit and all this stuff, because they were going to step up, you know, and take care of me and make sure everything was covered. And by they, I mean both M&J and the defendant.
Right. So what happened with M&J?
Well, again, after speaking with Fred, and he told me they were going to help me, M&J...
And don't go to a lawyer.
Right. M&J
Don't go
actually said that they were going to make sure I am still able to keep an income. So what they did is, instead of the lawsuit and money and all that stuff, they actually gave me a vehicle from an accident. That vehicle and...
Is what you're telling me, M&J settled with you by giving you a car?
That's right.
Okay. So let's just get it easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So he's in his truck ready to go. Your brother's in the truck. You're not in the truck.
That's right. But
So you're not ready to go. You're outside your truck, okay? It's not going to go well for you, sir, because there's a scam here that I'm not quite figuring out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Solis says fellow tow truck driver Camarino Hernandez severely injured him at work.
Now, instead of getting a lawyer and going after their insurance, let's not make a big deal about this whole thing. We're going to settle this whole matter by giving you a car.
Well, partial matter, because, again, the agreement at the beginning was that M&J would be responsible for a portion of this loss and that the defendant would also be responsible for a portion.
No, that was never an understanding with the defendant when you go to M&J.
Well, that's what we all discussed.
Mr. Solis.
We
yeah.
actually all discussed
Yeah.
that together.
Okay. All right, now you're going to tell me your story.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you that if I were you, I would get a lawyer and sue M&J. Documents, did you?
No, ma'am.
Great. Now tell me your story.
So what happened is, on the night of July 14th, we were parked in a gas station. In the back of the gas station, the defendant and I were parked next to each other in our tow trucks, with me being on the right-hand side, him being on the left. This was about 3 o'clock in the morning, so it was the middle of the night. I'm standing between the two trucks, smoking a cigarette, kind of taking a little break. My brother was actually there working with me, where he was driving in the daytime, and it's my shift to drive at nighttime. So I jumped in the driver's seat and was getting ready to take off, but first I stepped out, had a cigarette.
Getting ready to take off for where?
Well, getting ready to go to a dispatched accident if
But
we
there
get
was no
called.
dispatched accident.
Not yet, but we're trained to always be ready for a dispatch.
Yeah, so you went outside, you were smoking a cigarette, and?
And we both get dispatched, obviously, to an accident. And the way the dispatch works is the first person to get there, that's your accident, so
Yeah, gets
we have to do that.
Yeah.
The defendant, being the reckless person that he is,
Don't tell me he was a reckless person. You've known him for a very long time.
I have.
The two of you know each other for a long time. You know Freddie for a long time.
That's right.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, so
So
again,
you get a call, and?
we get a dispatch, and I'm standing there. We looked at each other and said, we got to go. The defendant decided he was going to try to cut my vehicle off so that I can't get to the accident and he can
Don't
get
tell
it.
me, listen to me. I don't want to hear what you think he decided to bring a cigarette.
He's in his truck.
So he's in his truck already.
That's right.
And who was with the defendant in his truck?
I couldn't see. I didn't look in his truck.
Did you have someone with you in your truck?
Yes, Your Honor, I had her with me.
So she was with you?
Yes.
Who is that?
That is my fiance, is Dominique.
Okay, so your fiancé was with you in the truck that night, and they were sitting in the truck, so they were ready to go.
Right.
You, on the other hand, were outside of your truck, and it takes you a couple of seconds to get into your truck.
That's right.
Right. So if the call came in at the same time, obviously he was going to get there first. Obviously. He's in his truck ready to go. You're standing outside having a cigarette.
Right.
So he's in his truck ready to go. Your brother's in the truck. You're not in the truck.
That's right. But the
So
only
you're
thing-
not ready to go.
I was not. But again, like I said, he wasn't ready to go either.
No, listen to me. You can't tell me whether he was ready. I have to make that judgment. He's in his truck.
But he was sleeping,
He's
Your Honor.
in his truck. You're outside your truck, okay? It's not going to go well for you, sir, because there's a scam here that I'm not quite figuring out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
It's not going to go well for you, sir, because there's a scam here that I'm not quite figuring out. But the only one who's going to lose is Emmett. So he's in his truck. He takes off. You start to get into your truck. I would assume that that's what you're going to do, start to get into your truck.
Yes.
So what happened?
Well, as I tried to start to get in my truck, he took off, and when he did, he pulled his vehicle so close to mine that the boom on the back of the tow truck, the boom is the T part. I actually have a picture of one if you'd like to see it, but it's the T part on the back of a tow truck that lifts the car. He pulled his vehicle in so close to mine that while I'm standing there holding on to the top of my door with this hand, his boom actually catches my arm, and it sort of yanks it forward, as the doctors described, nearly ripping it off.
Okay, you want to tell me what happened that night?
Well, like you said, I was in the truck. I was ready to go.
Look at me.
We got a job dispatched. I was obviously going to make it there first. He didn't want to pretty much move out the way, so I just kind of took off, and I guess I accidentally hit him.
Well, then I think you should take it up with M&J. You're not going to come here and conspire here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Take it up with M&J. You both work for M&J. You were injured on the job. Their responsibility. Do you understand? We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It broke in several spots, and for that reason, I'm not able to go back to work.
I don't know. I think it just feels like it's more my fault. I shouldn't have been standing there. You know, like, you see me, we're working.
He stopped, but you know, when I told him, hey, you broke my arm, dude, he just kind of sped off and left without that, so.
It was his bone was sticking out of his arm and everything.
He basically left me high and dry, and I had to figure it out.
I hope, you know, like, you can get over it.
I think it might be time to get a lawyer.
Is what you have court-ordered supervised visitation?
Supervised visitation, yes.
Once a week was too much for this dad.
I went to the house to pick up the child. He canceled while I'm already out front of the house about to walk up.
And a young girl misses her father again.
Why didn't you show up?
I had an emergency for work.
Unless you were in a hospital bleeding from every orifice, you make the appointment at 11 o'clock to see your daughter.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Child visitation monitor Theron Robinson is suing his former client, Ian Chandler, for failing to show up and pay for a monitored visitation.
Order. All rise. It's case number 251 on the calendar in the matter Robinson versus Chandler.
Mr. Robinson, you run a company that fills a void when non-custodial parents have set orders of visitation with their children, and for some reason they cannot see the children other than in a supervised situation, and they don't have a relative who is a potential supervisor of those visits. Your company provides supervision for those visits. Do you have any special training for that?
We do go through a training school that we do.
What training school?
It's the trade school that we go to.
Trade school?
Yes. We don't have an official, license or certificate.
Mr. Robinson, listen to me carefully. I want to know what expertise do the people who supervise visits have? Do they have to have a bachelor's degree?
No.
So if they don't have to have a bachelor's degree, they clearly don't have to have any degree in early childhood or psychology.
No.
Do you have a bachelor's degree?
No, not currently.
Do you have an associate's degree?
Yes.
From where?
El Camino College as a child development.
When did you receive it?
In 2016.
So you went there for 2 years?
Yes.
And what were you equipped to do with that license?
Monitor court-ordered visitations as a professional monitor besides an unprofessional monitor.
Okay. Does anyone work with you except you?
No.
And do you get referrals? Referrals through the court?
No.
How did Mr. Chandler come to you?
He called me up one day, and then...
He called you up from how? Do you advertise?
I do advertise through different platforms, Facebook, Yelp. I don't know how exactly he got my number.
How did you get his number?
I got it online.
And how often did you have visitation?
I had visitation once a week, and if I had a monitor, professional monitor...
I understand it. All right, I'm getting it, Mr. Chandler. You had visitation one time a week. For how many hours?
From 11 to 2.
Who does your daughter live with? with?
With Kelly Zimmerman. She is the guardian.
She related to the child?
No.
Is she a foster parent?
She's not a foster parent, but my daughter's mother was adopted by her, and she actually has guardianship of our daughter as well.
You have a drug problem?
No, I don't.
Have an alcohol problem?
No.
Are you on a prescribed medication?
No, I don't.
Why do you need supervised visitation?
I had my license suspended, and due to that, I was not able to...
License suspended for what?
Tickets from a car I had sold, and I never had gotten it.
I'm not believing this, Mr. Chandler.
Okay.
I'm not believing this, Mr. Chandler. I was in the family court for a quarter of a century. You don't lose visitation with your child.
No, I didn't lose visitation. I'm just not able to go and pick her up physically because my license is no longer suspended.
No, there's a difference between supervised visitation, sir, is what you have court-ordered supervised visitation.
Supervised visitation, yes. I had him originally as unsupervised, but then my license was suspended, and because of that, they had made it supervised again.
Not in a million years. Not in a million years, unless your license was suspended for driving while intoxicated or having drugs in your system or in the car. Your visitation wasn't changed to supervised visitation because you couldn't pick her up. Because if that's the case, then you can pick her up and leave the plaintiff's premises with her. You're not allowed to do that, right?
Yes.
So somebody has to be watching you. If somebody has to be watching you while you're having visitation with the child, then you have either a drug problem, an alcohol problem, or you've been found guilty of abuse or neglect. Those are the only reasons.
Okay.
What is the reason?
What? You want to say something?
No.
Good. Who are you?
I'm his mother.
We understand each other?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. What Mr. Robinson is suing you for, sir, is because you made an appointment from 11 to 2, 1 day a week, and you didn't show up. And he wants you to pay for those sessions. Why didn't you show up?
I had an emergency for work, and I had messaged him. I have right here the text messages.
I don't care. Who do you work for?
I work for a moving company.
You get a weekly salary, or they call you when they need you?
It's weekly, but as of lately, it's been very slow, so it's on call.
Steady. They call you up.
Yes.
Okay. When you texted him that you couldn't make the visits, how much notice did you give him?
I give him, it was 10:30, but prior to that, he actually had messaged me.
Just a second. You texted him 10:30 that you couldn't meet.
Yeah, it was going to be an emergency. I was calling it a work.
I don't care what you emerge. Unless you were in a hospital bleeding from every orifice, you make the appointment at 11 o'clock to see your daughter.
Yes.
And you don't call him at 10:30 you had an emergency. There's no emergency. There's no emergency unless you were hospitalized.
But if I couldn't go to work, I wouldn't be able to make,
That's too bad.
my number one priority.
That's too bad. Nobody calls you at 10:30 in the morning and says to you that you have to go move somebody's house from one place to another. Nobody calls you the last minute. Nobody. I move all the time. I know when I'm going to move. And it usually doesn't start at 10:30. You usually get rounded up to start that about 8 o'clock in the morning. So at 10:30 is not the time to call him. And how much was that session?
$115.
So far, that's $115. How many other sessions did you cancel or no-show?
Actually, it was optional for me to have my monitor. I actually was given by the judge order that I was able to have him be the monitor if I could afford it at the time. And if not, then I would be able to have her be the monitor, which I was originally having before for every week.
What kind of double talk is that? I asked you a question. You had retained his, dropped off at his place.
Yes.
And it's $115 a session. I asked you a question. I said, how many other no-shows were you, or did you cancel at the last minute?
Well, after he canceled the first one, he said that the other ones would be put on hold until I paid that one. So no, I didn't cancel any other one.
How many times was the child brought to your offices?
I don't have a physical office. I went personally to pick up the child from the guardian's house.
How many times?
2.
2. And did you, in fact, pick up the child twice?
Yes.
And how many times did Mr. Chandler exercise his visit?
Twice.
So you didn't pick up the child for any other visits?
No.
So what are you charging him for?
I went to the house to pick up the child for the 3rd visit. He canceled while I'm already out front of the house about to walk up.
On what date?
September 1st.
Okay. What happened on September 1st?
On September 1st is when I actually had an emergency and I needed to call in for the work.
Is that when you called him for
Yes.
10:30? You owe him $115. Anything else, Mr. Robinson?
Yes. If he doesn't pay the $115, then it adds up in late fees, and then we cancel.
$115. That's what he didn't show up. Then you didn't go anymore, right?
No, I didn't go anymore.
Good.
But we.
Good. You didn't go anymore. That's $115. That's what he owes you.
Well, and protocols that I send, having visitations every week. Each one is scheduled unless you cancel, and each one is to be paid for.
Listen to me. He owes you $115. The last one you said he didn't go to. After that, you didn't even go to pick up the child. I'm not giving you any more money. Do you understand?
No, that's fine.
$115. That's what he owes you. You went there. You were prepared to go. He had no excuse. I told him if he wasn't in the hospital bleeding, he should have been there.
Correct.
When was the last time you saw your child?
I actually just saw her this last Thursday at the park.
With whom?
With Kelly.
So you had a meeting to meet them at the park?
Yes, we did.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How long did he stay?
2 hours.
And it was okay?
He always comes stuttery, using. He has a drug history. That's why they have it on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $115. We're done.
Okay, fine.
Parties are excused. May step out.
I mean, I really think that I don't owe anything to him.
It was okay. She was fair. I liked what she did.
I believe that the woman actually is against me.
I mean, as long as he doesn't do this again to another monitor.
I've been clean, and I've actually been taking drug tests and passing every single one of them.
Because he tried to get another monitor, and he's going to start the whole process again and then try and not pay her.
Just move forward. Keep moving forward and doing what
environment for the child.
Keep taking steps in the right direction to help maintain and get my daughter back.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Long versus Haskins. Step forward.
David Long is suing his former friend, Thomas Haskins, for airline tickets and lodging for a trip to Hawaii.
Mr. Long, it looks as if you wanted to celebrate your 40th birthday with some friends and you were taking a trip. How many friends did you go with?
It was 9 total that went on the trip.
Including yourself?
Yes.
And one of the 8 was the defendant?
Yes.
How long have you known the defendant?
20 years, 21 to be exact.
And how long have you known the other 7 people?
The co-host of the trip, I've known her for 20 years. 2 of the others I've known for 5. And then a couple of them I had met on the trip.
Who invited those?
The girl that was the co-host of the party invited her sister when a couple failed, and also
Tell me, what do you mean the co-host?
So it was me and a friend celebrating our 40th birthday.
2 people?
Yes.
You and this lady?
Yes, Lisa.
Okay, so you planned the event?
Yes.
How many friends did you have?
5 total.
Including him?
Yes.
Did everyone else pay their way?
Yes, everyone, except one.
Okay. Everyone else paid for their own airline tickets. Each was the defendant's airline ticket.
$754.95.
And did everyone pay for their own share of a hotel room?
Yes, it was a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home that Lisa found, and everyone paid Lisa, and I paid for myself and the defendant.
Okay, why did you pay for the defendant?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He gave me $150, and it posted to my Cash App. He said that he had sent $1,500 and that there was a glitch in the system. He doesn't know where the extra 0 went.
Now I'm ready to listen to you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
David Long says his former friend, Thomas Haskins, owes for a trip to Hawaii. Thomas is countersuing for the return or value of damaged and stolen property.
Why did you pay for the defendant?
When we originally started talking about the trip, I knew that he was going through some problems with his family, so I said, well, let me know by a certain date. And when we started talking about it, he said, okay, I'll put it in my budget. Well, we started discussing in May. And by August, we had found a home, and he was secure and said that he could definitely pay.
I'll get to you.
So I had previously went to his 40th birthday, so I definitely knew that he was responsible.
Where was your 40th birthday taking place, sir?
In Maui, Hawaii.
And where did his 40th birthday take place?
It was in Curacao, in one of the ABC islands.
And how many of his friends went?
It was just me. He doesn't have that many friends, Your Honor.
Great. Did you pay?
I had some other friends come.
Did you pay for yourself?
Yes.
When he went with you to Curacao, did he pay his own airfare? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
And did he pay for his part of the hotel accommodations?
Yes.
Okay, good. So there was no reason for you to expect that he was going to pay for yours. How old are you?
44.
So it was relatively recently that he celebrated your birthday with you.
Well, yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Things changed, though, Your Honor. Things happened in the 4 years.
Yeah, usually get better, not worse. And if you can't go, you can't go. How much was his share of the hotel?
$750, Your Honor. That was everyone's payment towards the house. And I don't think I should pay for his paradise.
Well, you the one begged me to come.
Are we talking to each other? If we're talking to each other, go inside, find a nice room, and chat. This is a courtroom. You talk to me, you don't talk to each other. Clear?
Yes, Your
Great.
Honor.
Okay. Did he give you any money towards the trip?
He gave me a paltry payment.
That was for the rental car.
Just a second. Listen, don't shout out again.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Right now, it's his burden to go forward, which means I have to take his information in an orderly way. He gave you $150 when?
He gave me $150 shortly before the trip. I have it here, Your Honor, and it posted to my Cash app.
Okay.
When I got to Hawaii, because we live in separate states, I asked him, are you still prepared to pay the full amount? I only received $150. He said that he had sent $1,500 and that there was a glitch in the system. He doesn't know where the extra zero went.
Okay. Now I'm ready to listen to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Tell me what you said to him and what he said to you.
Well, he was badgering me, actually.
No, badgering is a conclusion. I want to know what he said.
I felt.
I don't care how you feel. Feelings is not my business. What did he say to you and what did you say to him?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
David Long says his former friend, Thomas Haskins, owes for a trip to Hawaii. Thomas is countersuing for the return or value of damaged and stolen property.
He gave you $150.
To my Cash app.
Okay.
When I got to Hawaii, I asked him, are you still prepared to pay the full amount? I only received $150. He said that he had sent $1,500 and that there was a glitch in the system. He doesn't know where the extra zero went.
Okay. Now I'm ready to listen to you. You went on a vacation. Somebody else paid for the airfare and somebody else paid for the room. Go.
He knew my situation.
Don't tell me what he knew, and don't tell me what you lost.
Okay. Well, I wasn't working, so how could I agree to pay anything when I don't have a job?
Don't ask me questions. You tell me what the conversation was.
I'm just saying he knew the situation. I didn't have a job, so how could I very well pay for a trip? He begged me to go on. I told him I could not afford it. He still begged and insisted, and then offered to pay. So,
okay, now I want you to tell me on what date he said, I'll pay for you. Give me the date he said, I'll pay for you.
Well, it was...
Just think.
It was probably around the end of July, beginning of August, somewhere. I never
just a
thought,
second.
Yeah.
End of July or the beginning of August.
Yeah.
And tell me where you were when you had that conversation with him.
We were at a Chinese food restaurant. He had come to visit me in Roanoke.
Tell me what you said to him and what he said to you.
Well, he was badgering me, actually.
No, badgering is a conclusion. I want to know what he said.
Well, it's how I felt.
I don't care how is not my business. Law is my business. What did he say to you and what did you say to him?
He asked,
at the Chinese restaurant.
He asked if I had gotten my ticket yet. I told him no.
Just had you gotten your tickets yet?
Right. I told him no.
Shh. Now stop 1 second. The trip was scheduled for what month?
September.
On what date did you get the airline tickets?
It was
July
31st.
And you got the airline tickets for how many people?
For him, after he asked me.
I just said for how many people?
One person.
And you got the tickets on?
Orbitz, and I have evidence
what date
here.
Was that? The 31st of?
July.
Keep going. Had you gotten your tickets yet? And?
I said no.
So it had to be in July, this conversation?
Right,
okay.
Yes. And he asked me, was I going to get my ticket? I said I couldn't afford it. He said he would get it. I didn't say anything. He just said he would get it.
Okay.
He just said if I could at least afford to pay for my food and anything I needed while I was there, then that would be fine. And if I would also like maybe look after the house, make sure things stayed tidy, I said that I did agree to.
And?
And he went and purchased the ticket.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Twitter.
Keep going. Had you gotten your tickets yet? And?
I said no. And he asked me, was I going to get my ticket? I said I couldn't afford it. He said he would get it.
Okay.
He just said if I could pay for my food and anything I wanted while I was there, and if I would also like maybe look after the house, make sure things stay tidy. And he went and purchased the ticket.
So now you got your ticket, and
we went on the trip.
What about your hotel?
The hotel, that stuff was purchased way before then when I wasn't working. You know, when you plan a trip, it's usually about a year in advance.
You plan a trip. When you planned the trip, did you tell him that you were going?
They asked me if I would go. I said I would love to go, but my situation is that I'm not working.
Right, you owe him the money. You owe him $1,354. You gave him $150 when? On what date?
September 12th.
But that wasn't for the trip.
September 12th, Your Honor.
Just a second.
That wasn't for the trip. That was for the rental car.
$1,354, judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim's dismissed. It's nonsense. We're done.
Parties are excused and they step out. Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm glad that finally I'm getting my money. I shouldn't have to pay for his paradise.
He begged me to go on the trip. He knew my situation. He knew I wasn't working.
I was devastated.
I understand that it was his 40th birthday. He kind of made me feel like guilted me into going.
He had a great time. He had a really good time. He didn't have a lot of money during the trip.
I agreed only to help around the house and just pay for my way while I'm there.
So he ate few meals, but overall he had a good time.
Just made me feel embarrassed about being there because I couldn't afford to be there even though he had begged me to come.
He said he was going to pay in full when the trip was over.
I never agreed to paying him back, so I don't feel the judgment is fair.
I couldn't believe it was $150 and he blamed it on the app.
Well, I'm wearing black today for a reason, because the friendship is dead to me.
Judge Judy came through and I am so thankful.
He literally scammed me.
A first-time house flipper takes a loss.
You didn't ask for any references.
I did not.
Well, that should have been the first thing that they taught you in your real estate course.
Now she wants to rebuild her bank account.
You gave the defendant $3,000 for cabinets.
He never had any intention of bringing any cabinets. He never paid for any cabinets. He never ordered any cabinets.
You're a thief.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin.
Amy Piard is suing her former contractor, Daniel Urbina Gandaria, for work he never completed and for damage to her home.
Order. All rise. It's case number 272 on the calendar in the matter of Piard versus Urbina Gandaria.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Miss Piard, what experience did you have in buying and selling houses?
Really no experience. This was my first time ever doing it.
Well, what did you do to prepare yourself for it? Because you spent some money to buy this house.
We did actually invest in an education for real estate, so I did have some knowledge.
Education? In real estate? What education?
It was real estate training, how to wholesale properties, how to fix and flip properties, what to look for in terms of what you're buying. And my mom had recently passed away, and so I received a very small inheritance that I was able to put a down payment and do something that I had wanted to do all my life.
Okay, but you prepared yourself for it, so you knew what you had to do.
Yes.
Great. And you purchased this house for how much money that you
I purchased it for $255.
And what did it need in order for you to flip it?
Well, it definitely needed some updating. The floors were really bad. The kitchen needed to be...
What you hired him for?
Originally, I hired him for cabinets.
Well, cabinets is kitchen.
Yes. I'm sorry, yes.
What else had to be done with the kitchen other than cabinets?
Well, we were considering opening up a wall from the living area to the kitchen. There was a supporting beam there, so we had discussed maybe leaving that beam there or perhaps opening up the wall and then putting like a support beam across the ceiling.
How did you find the defendant?
I answered an ad on Craigslist from his cousin, Abel, who came out to the house and measured and told me about the cabinets and gave me a ballpark price, and he told me that...
No, don't tell me what he told you. His cousin? Not him. His cousin.
It was his cousin.
I'm not interested in what his cousin told you.
Well, the reason is because I'm getting to how I got to him.
You got to him through an ad on Craigslist. Did you
basically. We went to the cabinet store and we designed.
Did you ask him what his experience was and for references?
You know, I didn't ask for references.
That's either yes or no.
I did ask for experience, and he said he had 20+ years of experience.
Great. And you didn't ask for any references?
I did not.
Well, that should have been the first thing that they taught you in your real
Absolutely.
estate course.
Yep.
Second thing that you have to learn, that I'm sure they taught you in your real estate course, was you have to get certain approvals, planning approvals, if you're going to...
Planning to actually remove the supporting wall. It was...
Ms. Biard, let's not play with each other. Did you say to him...
So, no, we did not need permits at that point.
Did you need permits for anything that you were doing?
No.
Is the defendant going to tell me the same thing?
He's going to tell you that in order to take out the supporting wall, we would need a permit. But at that point, we hadn't decided what to do. He actually went and started working on the house without having fully explained what he was going to be doing. He took a check for the cabinets, and the very next day was in the house ripping open the ceiling, which I believe he was there doing because he knew that I could not press criminal charges against him because he never had any intention of bringing any cabinets. He never paid for any cabinets. He never ordered any cabinets. And when I went to the police, they said it would have been a criminal matter because it was theft.
Just a second. So what you're suggesting, let me understand what you're thinking, what your thinking process is. Your thinking process is that you went and you designed cabinets to a store. By the way, you don't have anything in front of you.
I don't.
And that would be a huge mistake because what you should have in front of you is a credit from the store for the cabinets. You understand that?
I do understand. I don't have it.
Why?
Because I closed my account there and it's no longer an open account. I'm done with the cabinets.
They closed his account.
Just a second. Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
So give the defendant $3,000 for cabinets, and he didn't put in the cabinets. The defendant's defense is that you changed your mind and fired him, and he returned the cabinets, but they would only give him store credit for the cabinets. That's his defense.
Minus 20% restocking.
Show me!
Well, I can't.
Well, go get it. I'll wait.
Okay.
If you say you don't have it, I'll wait to get it. The store didn't go out of business.
No.
Well, where did you think you were coming today, sir? Where did you think you were coming?
I knew where I was coming, ma'am.
Then why didn't you say to the store, I need proof of a store credit? Because then I would give the credit to the plaintiff and I would say, go get your cabinets.
Well,
if you fired him and all he was able to do was get $2,800 for the cabinets, or $2,700 for the cabinets in a credit. Here's the credit. Take the credit and go get your cabinets.
This happened back in January, February, and I closed the account like 2 months ago.
But then you're an idiot.
Well,
then you're an idiot. So you can close the account, but the store didn't go out of business. From what store did you buy the cabinets?
J&K Cabinetry.
They're still in business.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure they have the credit. You want me to wait, or is it going to be a waste of my time?
I'm not going to get the credit. I have no way of getting the credit anymore.
Yes, sure you do. You know how many clerks we have back there? We need a copy of a credit that you issued in January or February of this year, not 10 years ago, not 50 years ago, this year. Companies keep records. Is it going to be a waste of my time?
Yes.
Because it's early today. Then you're a thief. Then you're a thief. What's the name of your company?
Better Kitchens and Baths.
Yeah, I wouldn't do business with you for anything because you took her money. You took her money. And you didn't buy the cabinets. That's what you just told me.
No, we did buy the cabinets, ma'am.
That's what you just told me. You just told me I would be wasting my time because my staff would not be able to call and get a copy of the store credit. You said to me it would be a waste of my time, which means either one of two things. Either you used those cabinets for somebody else or somewhere else or did your own kitchen, or you never bought them in the first place. And so they didn't give you a credit. Either way, you're a thief. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. We're done. Thank you.
Oh, but ma'am, there's other things.
I don't care.
But he did tons of damage. Can I show you the pictures? He ripped through electrical issues.
Not interested. Your fault. You went to school. Get references.
I never would have had him do.
We're done. You want to show me? You want me to ask you? Show me the $3,000 check that you gave him.
Okay, I can show that to you. I can also tell you.
You gave him $3,000.
Of course I did, and I never would have had him do what he did.
We're done. Good. We're done. Give me the check, and we're done. One check. One check.
Where you going?
Thank you.
Oh, she said give it to me. I was giving it to her. Apologize.
Okay.
Oh, that's you, $3,000, January 23rd.
Cashed same day at my bank.
Cashed same day.
Which
Judgment for
means
the
he's a
plaintiff.
scam artist, which
I'm
means
not.
he shouldn't get away with the other $2,000 that I had to spend. I realized that I should have done due diligence. I do realize that. But at the same time, he literally scammed me. He came into my house the very next day and started work that was never authorized.
It's beyond. You have $3,000. Say thank you and goodbye.
I spent another
done.
$2,500.
We're done.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
Well, I'm pretty upset with the decision, actually.
She knew what I was doing.
He stole $3,000.
She was just insultive and mean.
He had already cut a massive hole in the ceiling, so there was no going back at that point.
I wouldn't have done it if she wouldn't have asked me to do it. I don't go around doing free work.
Always go with a licensed contractor.
I'm not a bad contractor by any means.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ammer versus Deary Johnson. Step forward.
Brittany Ammer is suing her former friends, Johnson, for damage to her bathroom and furniture.
Miss Ammer, you are a building manager.
Yes, ma'am.
Of an apartment complex?
Yes, ma'am.
How many apartments in the complex?
2 apartments, a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom.
Where do you live?
I live upstairs in the 2-bedroom apartment.
So it's actually a 2-family house, 2-family condo?
It's a commercial property, too. There is a beef jerky storefront and a lady that does hair as well.
Okay. And do you manage the commercial premises as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you get a reduced rent for that?
I wish.
What do you get for that?
Nothing. I mean, I just help him manage the building. I mean, he's family.
No.
He takes good care of my family. We're good.
Okay, fine. Is there storage in the apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
Where?
The basement, and I also have storage, like I got closets I can use for storage.
When the defendants moved in, that was on what date?
July 10th.
Did you know them before they moved in?
Not Kayla, but I did know Marissa. We've met in the local bars around town.
And did they move in because of your recommendation?
The apartment came available, and being the building manager, I had to rent it as quick as possible. And she had said that she was living with her mom, and things were kind of getting a little squirrely. So I told her I had an apartment available. She could come look at it to see if she was interested.
Are they still there?
There's a lease.
So they're month-to-month tenants?
Yes, ma'am.
What furniture did you lend to them, according to you?
I lent them an armoire and 2 lamps, 2 end tables, and a hutch.
Where had those things been?
Downstairs in the basement. I have a big basement, a lot of overflow furniture.
Okay.
The armoire was actually in the hallway, though. It was too big to go down in the basement.
Did it look as if it should have been there?
It was there because I couldn't get anyone to take it up to my apartment. Too heavy, too bulky. So I just left it there until I could find somewhere to put it.
Well, then you were very happy that they put it into their apartment.
I was.
Okay, fine. And then you had a spat about something. In what month did you have a spat with them?
That would be October 1st.
What was that about? Quickly.
Quickly, I had a bathroom that needed to be renovated. They said that they were going to be late on their rent. I said, well, let's work something out. Let's do some work to the bathroom to pay your rent. $1,000 was the agreement, $500 for labor, $500 for materials. We started on the bathroom, ripped things apart, left them a big mess for 2 to 3 days.
Well, what made you think you could renovate your bathroom?
Well, he said that he had a small business, that he's a handyman. He does handyman services.
Handyman doesn't renovate a bathroom.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
That would be you throwing a rock at her. I don't care what you had in your hand. What'd you do that for?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brittany Ammer says former friends Marissa Deary and boyfriend Caleb Johnson damaged her bathroom and furniture. The couple is countersuing for unpaid work and damage to their car.
Okay. Handyman renovating a bathroom requires pulling permits, doing a whole bunch of things.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then you were trying to get it done for very little.
I was trying to help them out, too.
Well, and yourself.
Yes. Yeah, I need it remodeled.
You
for
need
sure.
a remodel, and it didn't work out. So that was what the spat was about.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you said, give me back my furniture.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you claimed that they put it in the hallway and some of it was damaged.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the value of old furniture?
The armoire was $1,100 purchased.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. If you went to sell it, you get $50. You couldn't even move it. What else?
The lamps.
What else?
$40 a piece. Not.
Yeah. Yeah. They're talking about nothing. So my question to you is, Miss Amma, why are you suing them? Because we're really talking about nothing.
Because this piece, it wasn't about the money, it was sentimental. I acquired it from taking care of an elderly lady for 2 years. And I just felt as though me helping them out, they should have never damaged my property like they did.
Tell me what they did to the armoire.
I have pictures if you'd like.
Thank you. I can't tell what this whole thing looks like. Is it glass?
Yes, ma'am. The first picture that I gave you was one of it whole.
Okay, want to tell me how this got damaged?
Yes, ma'am. The piece was actually sitting in front of our bed, kind of as a footboard, and I would watch her younger son frequently. He would sit on the bed and he would throw items at the top of it. That's how the top got cracked. The burn holes are incense cones that were placed there and had burnt through and melted the piece by complete accident.
Okay. Are you going to have it fixed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you get an estimate on having it fixed?
No, ma'am.
Well, how am I supposed to guess having the cigarette burns fixed has to be refinished? Okay, that's your fault. $250. Now, you have a counterclaim. What's your counterclaim for?
The counterclaim is for the labor for the bathroom that we weren't allowed to finish. And then also I saw the plaintiff hit my car one morning, and then she took off, and there was damage left from her striking.
When did she hit your car?
It was Sunday, October 17th.
Did you report it to the police?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see the report. Did you hit her car on the 17th?
No, ma'am.
On what date did you have an incident with them that you were told that they were gone from the premises?
The same day, October 1st. Caleb had cussed me out and said some things, and I've dealt with his outbursts 2 or 3 times now.
Mm-hmm. Whose video was that?
Ours.
Does that show her hitting your car?
It shows her throwing a rock at the car.
I'd like to see it. Ooh. That would be you throwing a rock at her car.
It wasn't a rock, ma'am. I had a bouncy ball in my hand.
I don't care what you had in your hand. What'd you do that for?
Just out of anger.
What
frustration.
Anger?
I've dealt with a lot with these two.
Well, you can't do that.
I know. Well, the police were called, and they asked me what had happened. I told them I was honest, and...
I don't care whether you were honest or not. What kind of ridiculousness is that?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She did, in fact, provide me with pictures of where you put back up the drywall.
Yes, ma'am.
But
grout up and then tile over it.
Why isn't it measured correctly?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brittany Ammer says former friends Marissa Deary and boyfriend Caleb Johnson damaged her bathroom and furniture. The couple is countersuing for unpaid work and damage to their car.
Okay. Was the car damaged?
From that, no. It's from when she hit it with her van.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yes. I also have the estimate, if you would like that.
Where were you when you observed this?
In my bedroom, which is our bedroom windows face the driveway.
Did the police call you about this incident?
No, ma'am.
This happened on the 17th. Is there an open complaint?
Yes.
Well, then I don't want to ask her about it anymore if there's an open complaint.
Well, I've gone to the police station, and they said that they were waiting for it to be approved. When they first came, they told us that they did contact her and left a message.
All I'm telling you is I can't ask her, and I'm not having anything to do with the damage to the car. I shouldn't have even asked her, because if the complaint is open, I should have realized that if it was the 17th of October and there was a police report, we're not far into October.
Yes, ma'am.
Like?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it. What do you do for a living, sir?
I have a handyman service.
Handyman is not a contractor.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pull any permits to do this renovation?
All I was doing was pulling the drywall down and replacing it with tile.
Oh, this is a big mess. Did you give her a time frame?
No, ma'am. I tore down the drywall and then replaced it with green drywall. And the next day, I went up to get a key because we didn't have a key to our back door. She asked if I would be able to do it today. I said, when I get home from work. And then that's when it all happened. She went off and told me that I had to do it right now. and I told her I couldn't. Then she told me I could not proceed with it, and nothing else was done to her bathroom from that day.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, how many days' work did you do there?
3 days.
Okay, because this looks like a big mess. Do you have pictures of what the place looked like after you finished?
No, ma'am.
Putting back up the drywall?
No, ma'am.
Did he put back up the drywall?
That's the drywall he put up. Where the screws, yeah. Where the screws are in the top, about 6 screws in the piece. Where he should have taken out that drywall and replaced it with a proper piece that actually fit, but instead,
Now I see what you're doing.
Horrible
Now
work.
I see. Okay, would you hand this to Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
She did, in fact, provide me with pictures of where you put back up the drywall.
Yes, ma'am.
That doesn't look like a satisfactory job.
Well, ma'am, this is drywall, and what I do is put grout up and then tile over it. So
Why
this
wasn't-
drywall would not be seen or anything like that if I was
Why
able
isn't
to
it measured
proceed.
correctly?
It was, ma'am. What she had was plaster up, and when I was taking it down, I took most of it down, then the ceiling began to fall also.
Okay, you owe Miss Ammer $250 to fix the armoire that you broke. That's it. We're done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She's just out to get money, basically.
Just flagrant disrespect.
I'm just glad that it's over.
Destroying things.
Man, I just think she's crazy, to be honest. The reactions that we got from her,
I had a ping pong ball. It was not a rock.
it was a rock.
I'd be in jail right now.
That's why I slammed on my brakes.
I still will love my neighbors.